with Brooks offset to his left. Man in motion is Varner from right to left. Snap, fake handoff, throwing left side, complete, left-handed throw out in the flat. No, it's dropped. It's dropped. Varner had it momentarily and dropped it. And just a quick update, in the backfield is Billy Ross Jr. That's not Kanan Brooks. That's Billy Ross Jr., who's a local Heritage Hall product here from Oklahoma City. It's 2nd and 10 as the Hornets go quick. Gleason throwing left side, and he skips one in. He short-hopped it into the receiver Varner on the quick pass out in the flat, and it's 3rd and 10. And just 8 seconds into this one, John, big play for the UCO defense.
Yeah, and that's the thing is with incomplete passes, the clock stops, and Emporia State throws a lot of passes. They threw the ball a lot last week against Northeastern State, but they're usually much more efficient than this with a drop and a short pass there on 2nd down. Not a good start for the Hornets.
4 receivers, 3 right, 1 left. Ball sits in the middle of the field between the hashes at the 25. Gleason claps his hands, takes the shotgun snap, straight drop, has time, now rolls to his left, looks, throws in the flat, complete to Ross at the 30, and he's taken down right there. Good open field tackle as the Broncos get off the field. Connor Johnson comes up to make the play, and it's going to be 4th and 5 for Emporia, and they'll punt it away on their opening drive of the game.
Yeah, just a great start for that UCO defense, and I want to shout out Michael Slater. He was playing the end on the right side. He absolutely bull rushed the left tackle, and he got held. He got tackled to the ground. The referee was right on top of it. Looked like he was going to throw it. He didn't. Didn't matter for the Broncos. They make the stop, and just a good defensive effort on the first series here.
Broncos have 2 back to receive. It's Bizel and Dangerfield. Rugby-style punt. It's an end-over-end kick that Dangerfield will fair catch at the 29-yard line. So Javion Dangerfield makes that play, and the Broncos get a 3-and-out, and they'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 29. If you are watching on the MIAA network tonight, or if you're listening to us on Classic Rock 104.5 in Oklahoma City or the surrounding areas, John, they can get in touch with us tonight. How can they do so?
You can email us here in the booth, ucoradio@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from Bronco fans. We love to hear from Emporia State fans. We love to hear from Classic Rock fans who are wondering where their music is on 104.5. Just give us an email. We'll give you a shout-out.
From the left hash, Stephon Brown at quarterback. High snap, throws it in the flat. Right side, complete to the 30, to the 35, out across the 40, and to the 42-yard line. It's Jacob Delso on the grab. 13 yards on the pass, catch, and run, and 1st and 10 Broncos.
Well, that is a lot quicker getting a first down than it was last week against Missouri Western. I believe it took a few series before the Broncos were able to move the chain. So definitely a better start for UCO here tonight. I know it's only been 5 plays counting the punt, but first offensive play looked pretty good.
3 receivers, bunch right, 1 to the left. Brown on an underneath pitch. This is coming around on a sweep at the 45-50 across midfield and banged out of bounds into the UCO bench at the Emporia 42-yard line. It's Diego Richards, who was kind of in a weird slot position there, a little misdirection and a big gainer for the Broncos.
Yeah, and good job blocking out on the edge by the Broncos. They pulled some linemen around and had a back out there as well, blocking on one of the linebackers, and just good body-on-body for the Broncos to get that first down.
From the Bronco 42 to the Hornets 42, it's a 16-yard gain, 1st and 10. Kemper out of the backfield, now 5 receivers, empty backfield. Blitz comes, Brown throws underneath to McGee, who couldn't hold on. Ref slow on the whistle there. That was an incompletion. Didn't have it long enough for a catch. Thought pretty good read there by Brown on the blitz to get rid of that one quick.
Yeah, and it was a good pass. Should have been caught, kind of like that first play from Emporia State of the game. I mean, you got to catch those. They hit you in the hands, and the Broncos fail on that one, and the receiver's going to want that one back for sure.
Brown goes under center on 2nd and 10 from the Hornets 42. Takes the snap, hands to Kemper, right side, runs into a tackler in the backfield and gets back to the line of scrimmage. And that's it. Jaden Poole in on the stop for Emporia State. Real quickly, Emporia State defensively up front, 3-man front with Jordan Williams, Rafe Goucher, and Daniel Becker. The linebackers, Cade Harrelson, Declan Hobb, who's a Kingfisher product, and Dawson Hamas. Khalil Rashid, Derek Maxwell, Jaden Poole, Chris Pope, and Montrell Wilson are your defensive backs. 3rd down and 9 for the Broncos at the Emporia 41 with 12:44 and ticking to play first quarter. Brown has Kemper in the shotgun, or in the pistol, now moves him to his right. Fakes the handoff, gives the handoff to Kemper running left at the 40. Tried to sneak on a 3rd down run for the first down sticks. He comes up well short at the 37. He did gain 4, and now this makes it possible 4-down territory, John, at the 37.
Yeah, I mean, being a little bit conservative, especially given the way that the offense played last week, I kind of like the idea of punting this down into the corner, but the Broncos are going to line up here and go for it, it looks like, and maybe just trying to give this offense a little spark early on.
4th and a little more than 5 yards. Ball's just outside the 37. Brown in the gun. And a flag comes in before the play. It looks like we're going to have a false start on the Broncos, and that might make the decision for them now, John.
Yeah, I think that it most likely will. And it just shows you, like.
False start, number 85, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Shows you how quickly an offensive series can unravel, and it really just takes one play, and it was that pass drop on first down. They dropped that ball, which would have put them out close to another first down. Then they run a dive on second down that goes nowhere. The third down sweep, gets them a little bit, and then the penalty on 4th down just kills any opportunity you have to try and go for it. So it really all started with that drop pass on first down.
So the Broncos will punt this one away, as it's a high end-over-end kick for and made at the 12-yard line by Will Amos, and that's where Emporia State will take over. Timeout on the field. We'll take it with them. 11:41 to go in this one. Both teams have traded punts. We are scoreless from Chad Richardson Stadium. You're listening to UCO Broncos football on Classic Rock 104.5. Chad Richardson Stadium, Todd Lisenby, John Fitzgerald, Josh Conant, our in-studio producer. Both teams trade punts on their opening drives. The Broncos did at least get a couple first downs, but after a couple of punts back and forth, Emporia has it 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line with 11:41 to go here first quarter. Shadows starting to creep all the way across the field now here at Chad Richardson Stadium. And I know the Emporia fans, honestly, for a Thursday night, really good traveling crowd from Emporia here. High snap. Gleason has to run back and jump on it all the way down at the 2-yard line. Boy, they took the snap immediately after the referee whistled the ball in play, and it was a high snap. Gleason is going to be marked down at the 3, so that's a loss of 9, and it's going to be 2nd down and 19.
Michael Slater hustling back there from his right defensive end spot. First touch on the quarterback, put him down in the sack. Does that count as a sack?
He got one like that last week, too, didn't he?
Yeah.
2nd down and 19 from their own 3 for Emporia. Handoff right up the middle. This is Ross running to the 5, kind of riding the wave of the offensive line up to the 6, but not a whole lot there off left guard. And Slater's in there on that tackle as well. It's going to be a 3rd down and 16 coming up. Dylan Buckheit in on that last tackle also for UCO.
Yeah, kind of hard to call the players that were in the tackle because there were about 8 of them in there in that scrum. So just a good job by the Broncos reading where the ball carrier was going and trying to close that hole down, which is exactly what they did.
3rd and 16 from the 11. Emporia needs to get it up to the 27 for a first down. Receiver comes in motion right to left. There are 4 receivers now, 2 each side. Gleason takes the snap. The lefty drops, throws over the middle. Man open. That's Ross at the 15. Tries to make a man miss and get outside. He makes the first man miss, makes the second man miss. He's got room down the sideline to the 35, 40, and finally knocked out of bounds in the Emporia bench. Bad pursuit angle leads to a big play for Billy Ross Jr., and it's 1st and 10 Emporia.
Yeah, just a real breakdown there defensively on that pursuit. And, the Broncos had Emporia State's back against the wall and just let them out.
32-yard gain from the 11 to the 43, and it's 1st and 10, a 3rd and 16 conversion. Here's a little pitch pass to the 45, bouncing outside near midfield, and finally taken down at the 48-yard line. Kingsley Bennett got that pitch pass. Gain of 5 on the play. A couple Broncos there, including Kyshawn Murray was there. 2nd down and 5. Quick snap, Gleason hands it right up the middle, and only about a yard on that one as they went back to Kingsley Bennett. And he's tackled after a gain of just 1. Robert Fuentes busting in from his defensive end position to make the play.
Yeah, and Fuentes, he did a nice job making that play, and then he got into a little scrum with the center down there because the center was laying on top of him after the play and wasn't letting him up. And luckily no punches thrown.
3rd and 4 at the 49. Ball thrown over the middle, and it's poked away. That was Chase Faber who came in. The ball was in the hands of the receiver, and Faber just reached his left mid up and just knocked it out of his hands. And it's going to be 4th down and 4, and the Broncos get a 3rd down stop and force a punt.
Yeah, I think this is a good call by Emporia State, especially, the Broncos offense came out and moved the ball a little bit. So you don't want to go for it right here and give them a short field. So they will bring on the punt team and send this thing towards the waterfall.
Ross Brunghart will punt this one away. Javion Dangerfield back to receive it for UCO. Heels on his own 10-yard line. This time it's a normal punt, not the rugby kick. It bounces at the 15. Dangerfield picks it up at the 2. Tries to get outside at the 5. Loses some ground back to the 3, and that's where he'll go down. I think that ball probably would have gone to the end zone, John, had he let it go.
Yeah, you have to know where you're standing, and you have to be able to tell how fast that ball is rolling when you pick it up. He gets out of the way of that one, and that's a touchback.
Timeout on the field, 9:04.
Fuentes, Michael Slater, and company getting a lot of penetration on that offensive line and plugging down the holes, keeping them off the linebackers, which is part of their job. And I think they're winning the battle at the moment. It's a long game, and this UCO offense has a long way to go starting right here.
From their own 3, Stephon Brown in the gun, Kemper behind him in the pistol. The Broncos with 3 receivers to the left. Dante McGee is the tight end to the right. Handoff to Kemper, running right, looking to get outside. Not a lot there, and a flag's going to come down for a hold on the Broncos as well. Gain of maybe a yard up to the 4. Do you take this one if you're Emporia and make it 1st and 12 at the 1, or do you go 2nd and 9 at the 4?
I feel like the referees have to get out that little school ruler you used to have in elementary
right.
school to figure out how to even apply this penalty. The Broncos are so close.
Let's hear what Emporia is going to do here from our referee in a second.
Personal foul, block below the waist, number 51, offense. The penalties decline, 2nd down.
So the good news is, that's going to be a half the distance either way, even though that's normally a 15-yard penalty. So it's going to be 2nd and 9 at the 4 after that penalty's declined.
So what you're saying is if you're going to commit an egregious foul, do it maybe
when it's half the distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, your coaches aren't quite as mad when it's 2nd and 9 instead of 1st and 25, I've noticed. From their own 4, tight formation, 3 receivers bunched tight to the formation left side. Dante McGee, the tight end, right. Now Dominic Dunn goes in motion to the right. High snap. Brown handles it. Hands it off right side out across the 5-yard line near the 6. On the carry that time for UCO was Antonio Smith Jr. I believe that's his first carry of the season, and it's going to be a 3rd down and 7 from the 6.
Yeah, and Smith he was in a full sprint when he got the football, and that's probably what that play is designed to do, just go forward, get the ball away from the end zone. But he ran right into the back of Terrell Davis, who was out there blocking. Maybe a little cut. He might have been able to get to the outside and get some more yardage.
Big 3rd down here for the Broncos in the shadow of their own goal line. 3rd and 6 from their own 7. Brown has Kemper to his right out of the shotgun. Blitz comes. Brown rolls away from 1, throws it left side, and it's too high and incomplete, intended for Diego Richards. Brown did a nice kind of reverse spin to get away from the first unblocked defender. Didn't have much to do there, and the Broncos will punt it away. Yeah,
I'm not sure, without the benefit of a lot of replay here, not sure if that was a bust up front or if that was just a blitz that they didn't have. They sent Dante McGee on a pass route, and it looked like it would have been his guy to block, who came up the field and kind of blew that play up. So good defensive play calling by Emporia State. It worked out there.
Peyton Hunt from Lawton is the long snapper, and David Vargas from Guthrie is the kicker. He punts this one away. It's a short punt. It's going to be taken by Will Amos on the slide. Fair catch at the UCO 41-yard line. So that's a punt of 35 yards with no return. And Emporia State will take over in plus territory at the Bronco 41.
Want to say what's up to Sways, who says, greeting shows, watching from York, Nebraska. So we're glad that Sways is joining us here and that he reached out to us in the booth. UCOradio@gmail.com. We got a few more to get to, and we want to hear from you as well. Give us an email. We'll give you a shout.
1st and 10 at the 41 in Bronco territory. Gleason fakes an end around, drops, throws, left side, wheel route for Ross, who makes the grab at the 20, at the 15, lowers his head, and it's going to be 1st and goal Emporia. Good pass and catch that time. Billy Ross Jr. ran the wheel route out of the backfield. It's a gain from the 41 down to the 7. 34 yards, 1st and goal. Hornets going quick. Gleason, this time hands it to Ross, right up the middle, and he's going to be corralled quickly after a gain of 1 to the 6-yard line. Noah West busting in on that one. Jonathan Mosley in there as well. It's going to be a 2nd down and goal.
And that was the first time we've seen Emporia State kind of go down the field, especially on 1st down. And I think they caught the Broncos napping a little bit. The receiver was wide open, but give credit to him. He made a great catch over the shoulder. Like, that is not an easy ball to catch. He was wide open, but he had to catch that one in stride over his shoulder. Nice job.
2nd and goal at the 6. Ross to the left of Gleason in the shotgun. Now moves to his right side. 2 receivers each side for the quarterback. Braden Gleason. Gleason rolling to his right. Looking. He's going to tuck it and run. Looking for the pylon. Ducks his head. He gets the ball in. It comes flying out at the end. But he's already into the end zone for a touchdown, according to the referee. And it's a touchdown for Emporia State, 6-0.
Yeah, we're not going to call holding tonight. I don't feel like, and I know there's a lot of Emporia fans listening, and they're saying what a homer. And you're right, I am the UCO broadcaster, but that one right there, just a blatant hold out on the edge that sprung that run. And maybe we'll see that from UCO tonight too. And I guess if both teams get away with it, then I'm here for it. But as a former offensive lineman myself, I never held, Todd. Never.
That's right. I never did either.
But like I said, as long as both teams are going to get away with it, then let's do it.
Sam Dobbins on for the extra point. Jack Diamond will hold. There's a flag down in the end zone. Count 11 Broncos, so it's not. It's got to be an illegal substitution of some sort. No, I count 12 Broncos, I think. Yeah, it's probably an illegal substitution is my guess.
12 players, defense. Penalties declined. Try for point is good.
So 12 players on UCO. The penalty will be declined, and Emporia State leads this one 7-0. 6:47 to go, first quarter. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5. Gleason, and it gives Emporia a 7-0 lead. John, I know people can reach out to us, ucoradio@gmail.com, but it's also worth noting there are some other games in the MIAA tonight. You mentioned it, that the MIAA allows basically every school to determine if they want to do their home opener on a Thursday night. Most teams take advantage of it. There's a good one in Nebraska-Kearney tonight. Pitt State and Kearney should be a pretty good one up there. But, yeah, there are different games going on tonight. We're going to be checking in on the scoreboard as the night goes on.
Yeah, sorry, Todd. I was watching Adam Dorrell out there just wearing out the official during that
He's
timeout.
probably saying the same thing you said.
And he may have seen it too. He's an offensive line coach, and I have a tendency to watch those big guys up front. I'm fascinated by offensive line play, and listen, and Emporia listeners, hear me out. When I say there's like blatant holding, I don't mean there's jersey grabbing on the numbers and things like that happens on every football play. Like, I understand how offensive line play works. I'm talking about separating these tight jerseys from the body and pulling backwards on them, outside of the numbers. Those things have to be called by the officials, and so I'm sure Adam Dorrell was saying the same thing. But yeah, I love the Thursday night MIAA kickoffs on the first couple weeks of the season, and we get the good fortune, which I think is kind of fun, of having a Thursday night game later in the season too.
That's right. Sam Dobbins to kick this one away. QB Stephon and Javion Dangerfield deep to receive it. Stevens is going to run over and take this one at the 7, middle of the field, up the middle of the field to the 20, cuts outside, 25, 30, looking for room, 35, has a blocker in front to the 40, to the 43-yard line, possibly a touchdown-saving tackle made by Christian Carrera for Emporia State. They'll give him the 44. Great return from Wewoka's QB Stephons.
Yeah, really nice cut at about the 20-yard line off the back of a blocker. He had great field vision on that play, saw where the lane was going to develop and took it and got as much as he could out of that before it closed down. So this is obviously much better field position for the Broncos than the last possession. So let's see if they can make some good out of it. And it looks like we got a new quarterback on the field, Todd.
Peyton Thompson in at quarterback on this first drive as McGee moves from right side to left. Thompson fakes the handoff. Blitz comes, rolls right, throws it, and just throws it into the turf. Nobody open, and just throws it away, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, I mean, Dante McGee was out there blocking, but he's an eligible receiver, and Thompson just threw it at his feet because he was in a lot of trouble. And, that, again, without replay right in front of me, is that a blitz that, was not blitz or that wasn't accounted for, or did the offensive line have a bust? I would imagine that somebody had a bust there as quickly as that broke down.
2nd and 10 for UCO from the 44. Thompson hands it off. Now it's the reverse to Richards, coming left to right. Richards hitting the backfield. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Good play made defensively that time by Cade Harrelson, who was all over that one. It'll be actually a loss of about a yard to the 43, and it'll be 3rd and 11.
Yeah, you hate to pull those plays out of the old bag of tricks and get no gain on them. One, you're putting them on film for others to see, and two, it's just a lot of effort for nothing. So Broncos are going to have to probably throw this one down the field here. Let's see what Peyton Thompson can do.
Thompson looking to throw 3rd and 11. Straight drop, 3-man rush. Steps up, throws down the field. It's tipped, and it is intercepted. Is that ball intercepted?
Yep.
It was.
Yep.
I lost it as it got tipped. It's intercepted by Emporia State right at the 49-yard line, and that's where the Hornets will take over 1st and 10.
Yeah, that was Dawson Hams that picked that off, the linebacker on the tip drill, which is something defenders work on in every practice, or at least they used to back in my day, Todd. And it's kind of a dream for a defender to run up on a group of players like that, and that ball is just floating in the air, unaccounted for. Hams makes the Broncos pay for it at midfield.
So the interception by Homison, it's 1st and 10 at the UCO 49-yard line. And that's where Emporia State will start this drive with Gleason in the shotgun. It's a handoff to Ross, running left, dancing in the backfield, gets a couple yards. Noah West corrals him. He leans forward for another yard to the 46, so a gain of 3, and it'll be 2nd down and 7.
I want to say hey to James Bird, who emailed us here in the booth, watching the game from Lakeland, Florida. Man, isn't the internet great? You can just watch this thing from anywhere, all over the world. We're glad James emailed us, ucoradio@gmail.com.
Gleason throwing right side, complete at the 42-yard line and tackled immediately. That was Tyler Common that made the grab, and he was tackled by Kyshawn Murray. So 3rd down and 3 as Emporia goes quickly. Snap to Gleason, hands off to Ross. Running right, cuts back left, up the middle, 1st down to the 36. A quick burst by Billy Ross Jr., 6 yards and a Hornets 1st down.
Yeah, this Emporia State offense, they like to go. They snap the ball quick. Doesn't even give you much time to tell you that J.D. Geneva came in and made that tackle.
Here's a snap to Gleason, another handoff to Ross. Running left, Ross not much this time, just lowers his head and gets what he can, which is to the 34. Gain of 2. 4:45 to go, first quarter, 7-0 Emporia State leads. On the move at the UCO 34, and the Broncos are going to take a timeout here. I know we got an injured player. Hard to see who the player is. While they attend to the injured player, and as John tries to get a number on that, just a quick update. There are games, as I mentioned, going on in the MIAA tonight. In fact, they're the Haymakers.
We probably talked about that last week, didn't we?
That's one of the better ones in the state of Oklahoma. 2nd down and 8 from the 34-yard line in Bronco territory. Handoff. This is Bennett running left to the 33-yard line. Only gains about a yard. That was on the tackle. Tavius McDonald, makes the play. Kingsley Bennett in the backfield, and now he's split out left. 5 receivers. Bennett goes in motion to the backfield. Fake handoff to him. Throw left side. Passes high and incomplete through the hands of Jalen Varner. And it's going to be 4th down, and I'm guessing Emporia is going to go for it here at the Bronco 33.
Yeah, I mean, not really field goal range, right? But probably not in a place where you want to punt and pin the Broncos down either. And with this Emporia offense and the options that they have, wouldn't be surprised to see them go right here.
It would be a 50-yard field goal. Instead, they'll go for it. 4th and 7 at the Bronco 33. The Hornets need to get to the 26 for a 1st down. Gleason fakes the handoff, looks, pumps, throws right side, hit hard as he throws it. The ball's up for grabs and incomplete. Boy, Gleason just got nailed as he threw that one away. I think 2 Bronco defenders might have run into each other. I think that was Hunter Large and Michael Slater that met at the quarterback. Slater slow to get off the field, but the big news there, John, is the Broncos get the stop on 4th down.
Yeah, just a great penetration by the defensive line, and then I thought a lot of tangled up defenders and receivers out there in the end zone, but it maybe just incidental. That official was right there looking at it, didn't throw any flags. So the Broncos get the stop and have decent field position, or certainly better field position than they would have had they been punted down into the corner.
Gleason threw that one into double coverage, just kind of a prayer intended for Tyler Common, who couldn't come up with it. So the Broncos have it 1st and 10 at their own 33 with Thompson in at quarterback. Thompson, hands off, left side, right up the middle of the formation, dancing forward to the 38-yard line. I believe that is Antonio Smith Jr., who's back in at running back. Gain of 5 on the play. Nice 1st down run. It'll be 2nd and 5. Jalen Cottrell checks in at running back for the Broncos. on this 2nd and 5 from their own 33. Thompson, shotgun snap, throws in the flat, left side, complete and tackled immediately for a loss back to the 36. Terrell Davis made the play, but he's going to lose a couple, and it'll be 3rd down and long now, 3rd and 7 upcoming.
Yeah, and that's just, I mean, the defender came barreling in and took on a UCO tight end, and the tight end just wasn't able to block him, quite frankly. He blew that play up. You've got to be able to put a body on a body there and just give the receiver enough room to make a move.
3rd down and 7 for the Broncos from their own 36. 3:05 to go first quarter, and UCO will take a timeout. We'll take it with them. UCO trails Emporia State 7-0. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5. Broncos still looking for their first points of the season as we come up towards the end of the first quarter here in game number 2. Thompson is the quarterback, takes the shotgun snap, looks right, throws right in the flat for Cottrell, and he short-armed it. It short hops him, and it's incomplete, and it'll be 4th down, and the Broncos will punt it away.
Yeah, and just this UCO offense has not had that breakout drive yet, right? I mean, this is going to be a 3-and-out right here. They had the 3-and-out when they started at the 3-yard line. They've picked up a few first downs here and there tonight, but this UCO offense has got to get the ball moving and really give their defense better field position. Emporia State's been getting decent field position on a lot of these possessions.
David Vargas will punt this one away. He takes the snap. He kicks a high end-over-end kick that Will Amos calls for a fair catch on and makes at the 24-yard line. So that'll be a punt of 40 yards with no return. And Emporia State will have it 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Amos caught a little friendly fire on that catch as one of his teammates, Zion Jones, was trying to block and kind of got bull rushed back into him. Nothing too bad, but I saw Zion go over to him after the play and kind of give him a, hey, my bad, dude. It's tough to be a punt returner, man. I tip my cap to those guys.
Luckily, they protect him a lot more than they used to, for sure. 1st down and 10 from the 24. Gleason claps his hands, takes the shotgun snap, fakes to Bennett, throws left on the fade route across midfield. The pass is caught. Will Amos went up and made the grab in coverage. Vaughn Deary was over there, but Amos makes the play all the way down to the Bronco 43. That's going to be a gain of 33.
I mean, that was one of those where Deary was just trying to watch his eyes. He never turned around and saw the ball.
Fake handoff to Bennett, throw on the slant route, right side. That one's caught at the 35-yard line. First grab of the game for Cole Schumacher. And it's going to be 2nd down and 2 at the 35. Hornets going quickly. Gleason this time does hand off to Bennett, running left, and he's going to be slung down for a loss as Jason Harris comes in and makes the play in the backfield at the 37.
Jason Harris on the tackle.
Just an outstanding job. Shot right in that gap between the center and the guard, wrapped up the ball carrier from behind and slung him down. And then there was a little bit of activity after the whistle, but no harm, no foul. As one of the Emporia State offensive linemen kept driving his feet, put one of the UCO defenders down, but that's what linemen do.
Jack Petts in the backfield on 3rd and 4, handoff to Petts, running right, spinning off a tackle in the backfield, gets 3 down to the Bronco 34, and it'll be a 4th down and 1.
They're going to line up quick and go for it here.
Emporia to the line quick. Petts moves to the left, takes the handoff, running left. He's stacked up at the line. He did not get it.
Nope.
He got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Lots of Broncos hopping up from the pile.
Again, that's just that defensive line, standing that offensive line up right there and making a play when they had to. Emporia State has moved the ball on the Broncos a little bit, but right there it was a little bend, don't break. And this UCO offense takes over with, decent field position at about the 35-yard line. Who's going to come out and try to lead the Broncos down the field this time?
It was 4th and 1 at the 34, and he loses a yard back to the 35, and that's where UCO will take over.
And it's Steph Brown this time.
Brown under center. Smith in the backfield. Brown takes the snap, hands to Smith, running left, dances past the tackler at the 40 to the 45, and he bursts forward to the 47-yard line for a 1st down. Probably the best run of the year, I think, right there, John, from Antonio Smith.
Just a fantastic job avoiding the tackle because he was kind of dead to rights at the line of scrimmage, and he just got a little bit thinner, right? He turned his hips and just made himself a little smaller and made 2 defenders miss him, and he was able to get the extra yardage he needed to get the first down.
Ball sitting on the O and the UCO logo at midfield. It's at the Broncos' 47-yard line. Jalen Cottrell in at running back on this play, and the pistol behind Stephon Brown. Brown fakes the handoff to Cottrell, rolling right, pressured, gets away from the first man. He's going to try to run with it. Makes the second man miss to midfield and leaning to the Emporia 49. Turned what could have been a sack and a big loss into a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, pretty good effort by Brown to get out of that and get get some positive yardage. I'm gonna shout out the linebacker too. You said it was Hamas.
Yeah,
I
Hamas,
pronounced
yes.
his name wrong earlier, but he was the one in pursuit that Brown got away from, and he was still in on the tackle down the field.
Cottrell gets the handoff running right on second down and about 6, and he gets a couple before he is driven to the turf. Ball comes loose, but after the whistle.
Yeah,
it's going to be third down and about 5.5 for the Broncos here.
And speaking of Steph Brown and the effort on that play, I want to say hi to Lilia Brown. All of our support to the UCO football team. A special shout out for Stephon Brown, number 2, from his father, stepmom, and sister Savannah. Let's go Broncos. So we appreciate that email here in the booth. You can give us an email, too. We got a bunch of them tonight. We'll get to them. UCOradio@gmail.com.
Steph Brown, the pride of Kernersville, North Carolina, in the shotgun on this third down and 6 play. And before the play, we've got a timeout. Oh, nope, it's the end of the first quarter. Into the first quarter, which is a timeout, technically.
Time flies when you're having fun,
Technically,
Todd.
that's right. We are through one. The Broncos with a big third down coming up when we start the second quarter. After one, it's Emporia State 7, UCO 0. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5. Fakes the handoff, rolls left, pressured, looking to set up the screen, gets it to Kemper. Kemper at the 40, at the 35, has a blocker in front. 30, 25, 20, hit from behind at the 15, at the 10, and he's going to be down inside the 10. It'll be first and goal, Broncos at the 7-yard line, a 32-yard screen pass from Stephon Brown to Nasir Kemper.
Before that play started, I thought the Broncos were going deep into their playbook because every player on the field was really looking at their play card that they have on their wrist as if they were like, what play is that? I got to find that so we can figure out what we're doing. It wasn't one that they went, oh, yeah, that's that's play 24. We know play 24. Like, that was something deep. And the Broncos, boy, give credit to Steph Brown. He was very patient, and he held on to that ball until the very last second.
Brown shotgun, Kemper to his left, gets the handoff running right on first and goal from the 7, lowers his head and leans forward to the 6 for a gain of about 1. It'll be second down and goal.
I want to say hi to Earl Hawley watching tonight from Birmingham, Alabama. He says, go ESU. Earl, I feel like we're not going to agree, but I'm glad that you emailed us here in the booth.
You're watching.
And we're glad you're watching the game, listening to the broadcast. And we want everybody to email us, UCOradio@gmail.com.
Second down and goal. They're going to officially call that a no gain at the 7, so second and goal from the 7. Brown in the shotgun with Smith behind him now. Antonio Smith gets a handoff at the 5, at the 4, and he's hit and driven backwards there. They'll give him the 3 on forward progress. Good tackle made that time by Derek Maxwell, who came up for Emporia. It's going to be a third down and goal for the Broncos at the 3-yard line. 12-12 to go and ticking here in this first half. 7-0 Emporia leads. Broncos got shut out 35-0 last week. Still looking for their first points of the 2022 football season and their first points of the Adam Dorrell era. Going to have to hurry here. Play clock at 5, and the Broncos don't like what they're looking at defensively, so they will take a timeout. We'll take it with them. 11:54 to go first half. Emporia leads 7-0. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5. Welcome back to Chad Richardson Stadium. Todd Lisenby, John Fitzgerald, Josh Conant, in-studio producer. Third down and goal for UCO at the Emporia 3. 11:54 to go first half out of the timeout. Broncos will line up out of the shotgun formation. 2 tight ends to the left, 1 to the right, 1 receiver left. Now a tight end moves in motion. Fake handoff. Brown's going to keep. Quarterback draw up the middle, looking for room at the 5, at the 3. Lowers his head, gets a push from a lineman. His helmet flies off, but he's into the end zone for a UCO Bronco touchdown.
What a fantastic effort by the offensive line up front and by Steph Brown, keeping those feet driving. He really, I felt like, could have gone left and maybe walked into the end zone. He took the rocky road, so to speak, in the south end zone and put it in for the Broncos' first touchdown in the newly renovated Chad Richardson Stadium. And now we'll kick that PAT towards the waterfall feature.
Extra point on the way from Nicky Quevedo. His first extra point or field goal attempt this year. The snap and hold are good. There is a flag down at the snap. The kick is through and good. We'll check the flag. The way it came down at the snap, it might be an illegal formation on the Broncos here. It is going to be. Now, I'm not 100% sure.
5-yard penalty remains, try for point.
Okay. I know in the NFL you can take that and add it to the kickoff, like the receiving team can add it to the kickoff and move them back, but they will have to move it back 5 yards here and try this one again. Just a little extra practice, right?
Well, it is, but
If you make it.
But yeah, it can be critical. I mean, these things. I mean, and it's early in the season still, and it's new staff, but we got to iron out these little penalties. I mean, these are the things that can kill you, and hopefully it doesn't hurt the Broncos here.
Bo Phelps to hold, Peyton Hunt to long snap it. Snap and hold are good. The kick from Quevedo is up, and for the second time, it's good. No flags on this. Oh, there is a flag. On the far sideline, it looks to be against UCO again.
Number 85, kicking team. 5-yard penalty remains, try for point.
So now a false start on Dante McGee. Uncharacteristic mental mistakes early on from Dante McGee, John.
Yeah, and again,
six-year senior.
Absolutely. I was kind of worried it was going to be illegal formation again. Like, hey guys, maybe we want to line up in something different. But it just false start there. Probably just a little body lean or something like that. And really completely unnecessary on an extra point. Blocking on an extra point, it's one of the easiest things you do as a lineman because you just go down towards the center and protect your inside gap.
Third time is the charm. It's basically a 30-yard extra point, but all that matters is it's good. All the box score will say tomorrow was Nicky Quevedo, extra point good, and with that extra point, it's Emporia 7, UCO 7. 11:46 to go in the first half. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5.
After last week's performance, like what else would you expect? That it would come easy? They had to work hard to get those 7 points, and the Broncos did a great job on that drive. They mixed it up on the play calling, which was nice to see, and just good effort. And that's the thing, like this team, they sat through this whole week of practice knowing that they didn't score. This offensive line sat through this whole week of practice this week knowing they didn't score last week. And so it's such a pride thing to go out and put points on the board, and now they've kind of popped the cork on the offensive season, for the Broncos.
High, short, angled kick by Quevedo that'll bounce upfield. Ball's loose at the 2. Swinehart goes back to get it. Picks it up at the 1, runs it out to the 10, to the 12, to the 13-yard line. Could not have a better kickoff from Nicky Quevedo there, and it'll be 1st and 10 Emporia at their own 13.
Yeah, that football has a funny shape to it, and it takes weird bounces. And right there, unfortunately for Emporia State, they found that out, and it cost them some serious field position. But
remember, Quevedo did that last week. Remember, it just barely rolled into the end zone. This time, it took a little less off, or a little off of it.
Yeah, he looks like a guy who maybe during the kicking. Kicking practice is long. You don't do anything while the rest of the team's kicking. He probably just tries to hit the pylons in the front corner all day.
Gleason in the shotgun with Ross to his left. 2 receivers stacked one behind the other each side. Man in motion. There's a handoff to Ross. Running right at the 10, bouncing outside, looking for the sideline, and he's going to be wrestled down. As coming over to make the play for UCO is Amonte Davis. No gain on the play. In fact, we'll call it no gain to the 13. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, very nice job by the Sam Houston State transfer defensive back.
Gleason, quick pass right side. This is complete to Corey Thomas, who makes his first grab of the game. Thomas carries a tackler out to the 18 for a gain of 5. It'll set up 3rd and 5 as Emporia operating quickly again from the right hash. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Gleason claps his hands. Ross in motion out of the backfield. Empty backfield now, 5 receivers. Gleason takes a snap. Broncos blitz. Gleason over the middle, complete, but short of the first down. Catch is made over the middle that time. I believe that was Schumacher that made the grab. He's going to be tackled a yard short. It's going to be 4th and 1. And Emporia is going to punt this one away. So the Broncos get a touchdown and then get a 3-and-out defensively.
I want to say hey to Carol Jones. Carol emailed us from Tecumseh, Michigan, and says roll Chose. Little twist there for you, Todd.
That is a twist. My son goes to Tecumseh.
Not to Tecumseh,
Not to Tecumseh, Michigan. No, he'd have quite the commute. This ball's going to be punted away as Brunghart kicks this one away. High kick, sidewinding kick that's going to be fair caught. A flag comes in towards the end of this. 2 flags come in, thrown to the same area as Diego Richards made the fair catch there.
I mean, it's got to be
35.
It's got to be some sort of blocking penalty against UCO, right?
Unless some sort of personal foul behind the play.
Yeah, that's all. That's the only other option.
Officials talking it over. Let's hear from our referee.
During the kick, holding number 10, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. First down, Central Oklahoma. Media timeout.
Well, there you go. He said it for us. Timeout on the field. 10-14 to go, and as we are media, we will take it with them. 7-7 our score, 10-14 to go first half between Emporia State and UCO. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5. First and 10 at their own 25-yard line after forcing a 3-and-out.
And after Steph Brown leads the Broncos on a touchdown drive, they send him back out on the field to command the offense for another opportunity here.
Ooh, how about this little old-school I formation as Carney's the fullback. Handoff to Smith, running left behind that fullback lead block. Smith gains about 5 yards up to the 30-yard line, and it'll be second down. They'll give him 4 to the 29, so 2nd and 6 upcoming.
I think that's the same play they ran on the first play of the last drive where Smith had the nice run and picked up the first down. He didn't quite get the yardage there that he did on the last drive, but a 5-yard pickup right up the middle. We'll take that.
Cottrell in the backfield goes in motion as Brown throws to him on the swing route. Right side, and Cottrell lost his footing. He's going to lose big yardage. Ball was kind of thrown behind him on the banana route. Cottrell went behind himself to catch that one and lost his footing at the 24. That's going to be a loss of 5 and set up a 3rd and 11.
Yeah, just a kind of a disastrous play for the Broncos there on something that's relatively simple. But sometimes those cleats don't stick in the turf like they should, and that was one of those cases right there.
Speaking of the turf, new turf this year on top of everything else here at Chad Richardson Stadium.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Looks beautiful. 3rd down and 11 from the 24. Brown in the gun, 3-man rush. Brown steps to his left, has time, drops it off to Cottrell in the flat, and he's hit and going to be dropped. Oh, he got away from the first man. He has to go out of bounds, though, at the 30. He was hit at about the 27, carried the tackler for a while, then shedded him right at the sideline and gets to the 30. It's going to be 4th down and 5 for the Broncos, and they'll punt it away.
I feel like that's one where in film review, I feel like they're going to tell Brown, hey, don't throw that pass right there. It's 3rd and 11. There was a heat-seeking missile coming in from the defensive backfield. Like, that guy's going to get snowed under as soon as he catches that ball. Got to look down the field or try to make a play with your feet.
Vargas to punt this one away. Will Amos standing at his own 31-yard line to receive it. The snap bounces back to Vargas. He handles it, does get the kick away. Amos comes up at the 34, bobbles the catch, and he's going to be hit immediately and dropped right there. 2 Broncos on the play. That was Marco DeMio who was there on the play. That was Raekwon Wicks in on the play along with Kobe Stevens for the Broncos on special teams.
And just that split-second bobble probably saved the Broncos from a little bit of a return there because Amos had to just recover. It wasn't bad. He wasn't really in danger of fumbling the football, but he had to secure it certainly before he could take steps forward, and that just gave the Broncos an extra step to get to him.
1st and 10 on the 33 for Emporia State. Emporia in all-white uniforms, black helmets. Broncos in all blue uniforms with white helmets tonight. As there's a handoff to Petts, who's in at running back, running left side, and not a whole lot there. He'll get maybe back to the line of scrimmage. That's about it as Julius Coates comes in to make the play. Coates, the big 6'6", 290 junior from Rockford, Illinois. It'll be 2nd down and 9 after that gain of 1. Gleason in the gun, hands to Petts again, running left, and not much there again. He's going to be driven backwards after a loss of a couple. First one there was Noah West in the backfield, a 2-yard loss, and it's 3rd down and 11.
Got a defensive lineman down for the Broncos. That looks like Tuifua. So they're going to tend to him. He's moving the legs, laying on his back. He's obviously in a little bit of pain, but don't think there's any worry of something serious along. Alaska gets the prize so far for furthest email. And, we used to have a punter from Australia, so we always heard from Australia. And it was always the next day in Australia, which was kind of interesting.
Right.
But we're glad they emailed us, ucoradio@gmail.com. We want to hear from you, too.
Big 3rd and 11 for Emporia at their own 32. Need to get to the 43 for a first down. Gleason in the shotgun with 4 receivers. Gleason, straight drop. Steps out of pressure. He'll run with it to the 30, to the 35. Caught from behind. Gets away from a tackler up near the 40 to the he's going to be short of the 40. They're going to mark him down at the 39, which is going to be 4 yards short of the first down. Lots of Broncos there on the play. Blake Barone from his linebacker spot came over. It's going to be 4th down and 4 at the 39, and Emporia will punt it away again.
This UCO defense continues to play well. I mean, and it's a 7-7 ball game here in Edmond. So last week, I think Emporia had 21 at halftime against Northeastern State. So Broncos have done a good job keeping them out of the end zone thus far. Still 7 minutes to go in this first half.
Dangerfield and Richards back to receive this punt. It's a high punt, great punt as Dangerfield goes back and fair catches it on his own 10-yard line. That was a really good punt. 51 yards, 50 yards as they mark it at the 11 with no return. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Broncos at their own 11 as they start this drive.
Dangerfield literally called for that fair catch as soon as the ball came off of his foot. Like he knew immediately that one was not going to be returnable.
Yeah, that was an NFL-style punt right there. Lots of hang time. Brown still in at quarterback. 1st and 10, UCO their own 11. After forcing the 3 and out, Kemper's in the backfield. To the right of Stephon Brown. Brown takes the snap. Hands to Kemper on the counter. Going left, looking to bounce outside. Does at the 10, at the 15, to the 20-yard line near the sticks. And he'll be marked out of bounds at the 22 after an 11-yard run and a Bronco first down.
That was a really long delay on the counter. It felt like almost like the back didn't know he snapped the ball. I think it was by design. It just looked kind of funny. Steph was just standing there holding the ball out, waiting for him to take it. But you got to let that play set up and develop. And as soon as it did, it's good blocking on the left side by the Broncos.
Seen some good bursts from Kemper down the sidelines here in this first half as he goes in motion out of the backfield on 1st and 10. Brown on the slant route to Richards. Ooh, and it went through his hands, and it was dangerously floating up in the air around the 34-yard line. It falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Got to catch those balls. I mean, those ones that hit you right in the hands. Wasn't, amazing coverage. He wasn't a physical, situation. You just got to go up and catch it. And that's why the coaches put you on the field as a receiver to go out and execute right there. And that's one that, like we said earlier with another receiver, he's going to want that one back.
2nd and 10 at the 22. Offset I formation on this 2nd down play. Carney is the fullback, offset to the right. There's a handoff on a jet sweep. Coming around and looking to get outside and nothing doing is tackled for a loss. Back to the 17-yard line. I believe that was Dangerfield. No, it was Richards on the carry. It's going to be a 3rd down now and 14 from the 18.
Chris Pope just read that from his defensive back spot. He was never fooled. Chris Pope, an Edmond Memorial graduate, playing back here probably in front of a lot of family and friends for the Hornets.
Lots of Hornets players from the state of Oklahoma. Emporia shows blitz. They bring 4 on 3rd and 14. Brown has time, floats one down the middle of the field. It's knocked away and incomplete. 2 defenders there. Tried to get it to Richards on the seam route. Would have been a tough grab. Well defended. It'll be 4th down, and UCO will punt it right back.
Really well covered, but I like that the Broncos went down the field there in that situation. They had a 3rd and long. It was just well covered by Emporia State.
Vargas will punt this one away as Will Amos stands at his own 40-yard line for Emporia. Vargas takes the shotgun snap, or the deep snap, I should say, the long snap. Look at this, a spiraling kick that sends Amos back. Fair catch his own 33. A couple of really good punts, a 50-yard punt for Emporia's Brunghart, and then a 49-yard punt for Vargas with no return. And Emporia will take over 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
Want to say what's up to Peter Long, who emailed us here in the booth. Says, keep up the great work. Also says, but that wasn't holding. So I wonder what team he's rooting for. Peter, we know what team you're rooting for, and we're glad you emailed us here in the booth. We want to hear from all your friends, too. UCOradio@gmail.com.
A couple other games in action in the MIAA. We'll give you some scores after this first down play as Gleason throws out in the flat to Bennett. Bennett grabs it at the 35, turns it up to the 40, and taken out of bounds at the 42, a yard short of the first down. Central Mo leads Washburn 24-12. That game with about 6 minutes to go in the first half. And one other game with the score for late second quarter, late first half, Mo West up 21-7 at Fort Hays State. 2nd and 1 from the 42. Full playbook here for Emporia. They'll hand it to Bennett running left. Has the first down to the 45 to the 46-yard line where he's tackled by Chase Faber. Gain of 4 and a first down.
I can't read emails when Emporia is driving. They snap the ball too fast, Todd.
4 receivers, 3 right, 1 left for Braden Gleason, the Emporia State quarterback. As Gleason hands it to Bennett, right up the middle, big hole, 50, 45 into Bronco territory, and down there after a 9-yard first down run.
Well, and this is not what you want to see if you're this UCO defense or coaching staff. The Emporia State putting a drive together here late in the second quarter. Broncos are going to have to bow up here. It's second and very short, so Emporia State may go down the field here. Let's see what they do.
At the Bronco 44, taking a little more time before this snap with 4:37 to go first half in a 7-7 game. Braden Gleason from Muldrow takes the snap, hands it to Bennett, running right. He's hit, driven backwards. He'll give up ground, and he'll lose back to the 45-yard line.
Now, why did they give him the 45 there? He ran backwards.
That's
a terrible spot.
Should have been about 2 yards back.
That's not forward
spot.
Progress because he ran the ball backwards. And if I'm Doral and the coaching staff down there, I'm throwing a fit on that. But it brings up 3rd and short, and you could throw the challenge flag, but I don't know if they saw it.
3rd and 1 from the 45 in Bronco territory. Man in motion, that's common. As Gleason drops to throw, throws it right side, knocked away and incomplete. Good coverage from UCO that time. That was Kyshawn Murray in the coverage, and now it's 4th down and 1 at the Bronco 45.
Well, now Emporia has to decide what they want to do. Do they want to risk giving the Broncos a shorter field here with under 4 minutes to go in the quarter, or do they want to try and get that first down and keep this drive going? I mean, you'd think the odds of them picking up the first down would be good, but yeah, they're definitely gonna huddle up and do that thing that UCO used to do, that quick jet to the line of scrimmage. Go for it here.
Short yardage back. Jack Petz is in. Fake handoff to him. Gleason keeps it running right. He's hit. He didn't get it. He did not get it. He was hit in the backfield. Is coming over to make the play for the Broncos was Raekwon Wicks. Chase Faber was there to clean it up. It's a loss of 1, and UCO gets another 4th down stop and has it 1st and 10 at their own 46.
Was that Raekwon Quick's finishing move? Like, that was a devastating tackle and very animated. I'd like to see some replays of that. And it was largely accentuated by the effort that the quarterback gave to try and get to the spot. But he didn't get there, and Emporia State now gives the Broncos a shorter field than they'd probably like to. Let's see if UCO can make the Hornets pay for it.
1st and 10 from their own 46. Smith Jr. back in at tailback. Hand off to him on the counter, going left. Not a lot there. Gets to about the 47-yard line for a gain of 1. And that is it.
We'll say what's up to Jason Lear. Says he's watching the game from Kansas City. He asks where the Bronco name came from. Obviously, probably referring to the H in the Bronco. That question comes up a lot, Jason, as you can imagine. But it's really not a sexy answer. That's just the way that they spelled it back in the 1920s. It was an acceptable spelling of the word, and so it never left. And the Broncos have kept that H.
2nd down and 9 as Stephon Brown on a quarterback draw up the middle to the 50, bouncing outside, looking to get away from a tackler. Nearly does. He's able to stumble forward to the 49 in Hornet territory. Gain of about 4, and it's going to be 3rd down and 5 upcoming. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but here in Oklahoma, don't the Bethany High School Broncos also have an H?
They do. Yeah, they do. And there's, there probably are others in the country that do. But it does kind of give the Broncos a unique flavor, although something that annoyed me when I was a younger man is when I played NCAA football on the PlayStation, if you put Broncos with an H, they wouldn't say Broncos. Say it. So you had to spell it without the H to get them to say it.
3rd down and 5 at the 49, need the 44 for a first down. Swing pass to Kemper in space, looking to make a man miss, and he can't. Boy, great open field tackle that time. I believe that was Declan Hobb from Kingfisher who made the play. It's going to be no gain.
And
it's going to be 4th down and a timeout called by Emporia with 2:31 on the clock to stop that clock and have one last chance for a 2-minute drill. We'll take the timeout with them. 2:31 to go. First half, UCO and Emporia tied at 7. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5. Welcome back to Chad Richardson Stadium. Out of the timeout, the Broncos punt this one away as it's a high end-over-end kick from Vargas that bounces at the Emporia State 15 down to the 14 to the 13-yard line. So a 35-yard kick with no return, and Emporia State will have 87 yards of green in front of them as they look to take the lead into the halftime break. And a quick reminder, John, the Broncos who did defer will get the ball out of the halftime break. So if you can get a defensive stop here and go to halftime tied, or maybe even somehow get some points on the board, you would have a ton of momentum coming out of the second half.
And we haven't really seen Emporia strike quick tonight, but we know they have that capability. As quickly as they run the offense, 2 minutes and 19 seconds is an eternity here in the second quarter for Emporia State.
Braden Gleason is the quarterback, the lefty working out of the shotgun, takes the shotgun snap and pitches it to Will Amos, who's in motion left to right, hitting the backfield, gets away from the first man, now reverses field all the way to his left, gets back to the line of scrimmage and more, to the 15, to the 20, and out of bounds near the Bronco bench at the 21-yard line. Turned a 5-yard loss into an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, just unfortunate tackling there in the backfield, and then good effort by Amos.
Kingsley Bennett in motion into the backfield. Fake handoff to him, throw right side. Complete to the 30 to the 33-yard line. Grab made that time by Schumacher. It's going to be a first down and 10 at the 33. Clock rolling with 1:55 to play. Bennett in motion out of the backfield. Empty backfield for Gleason. 3-man rush. Gleason steps up, throws over the middle, over the head of the defender, the receiver, and incomplete. The defender for UCO that time, Trayvon Craig, was coming up to make a play on the ball. Had he seen it was high, he might have been able to make a pick on that overthrown pass over the middle.
Yeah, he was just coming up, like you said, try to break up the pass, and that's his first responsibility. So we'll give Craig a pass on that one and take the incompletion. I want to say hey to Sarah Berry, who emailed us, says go number 54 for ESU. Stingers up, which is their war cry. So, Sarah, we're glad you emailed us, ucoradio@gmail.com.
That would be Rylan Miller from Overland Park, Kansas, as there's a handoff up the middle on 2nd down and 10 to Petts. And he will gain from the 33 up to the 37. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Empty backfield for Gleason. Clock rolling, 1.5 to play first half. Gleason pumps. Ball comes loose. He fumbles it, and he jumps on top of it at the 34. Robert Fuentes covers him up there. And now the Broncos will use the timeout to stop the clock with 1:20 to go, and they'll get a chance to score before halftime.
Yeah, it's interesting. Is that a fumble or an incomplete
when
pass?
Tom Brady did it in 2002 against the Raiders, that was an incomplete
That's what
pass.
I was thinking of. It's not as snowy tonight. But and then, listen, Fuentes had to be kind of corralled after that play. He got a little bit physical and then did a little pushing and shoving. And Fuentes is a guy that, yeah, absolutely. Get this ball back and see what you can do with 1:20.
Ross Brunghart deep to kick it away. 6'6" punter is Ross Brunghart. Standing at his own 20-yard line. Snap is low, but he handles it. Kick is away. It's end over end. It's going to bounce, take a big Emporia bounce all the way down inside the 10, inside the 5, and that'll probably make your decision for you. Down to the 1-yard line. That's a 65-yard punt from Ross Brunghart with no return, and the Broncos will have it 1st and 10 at their own 1. And now, John, you got to be careful you don't get a safety.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the worst possible field position that you could have had in this 1:20, and instead of now, going for the quick touchdown strike with the shorter field, now you just have to play a possession game and get the ball away from your own goalpost. Emporia State has 2 timeouts left too, so the Emporia State could, if you run this ball and try to run the clock, Emporia State could put you in a little bit of a bind by using those timeouts. Although I think the Broncos could possibly still run out the clock even with those 2 timeouts used.
Yeah, you can't just kneel it and go to halftime here as Brown Hands off, running right. That's Smith, who stumbles forward to the 3-yard line, so he gets it out of the end zone. And Emporia State, did they use a timeout here?
Clock is not running.
Yeah, I think they used a timeout. Yeah, Emporia State did use a timeout with 1:04 to go, and we will take it with them. 1:04 to go first half, tied up at 7. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5. Welcome back into Chad Richardson Stadium. 2nd down and 8 for the Broncos for their own 3. Just looking to run the clock out here in the first half as Brown hands to Smith Jr. running left, and he gets to the 5, a gain of a couple. And Emporia State will use their 3rd and final timeout.
Yeah, and so now they put the Broncos in a position.
Timeout, Emporia State.
Thank you.
3rd and final of the half.
They put the Broncos in a position where they have to run a play here on 3rd down, and should they not convert the first down, they are going to have to snap the ball to punt it. And
right.
That, that can be a
5-yard touchdown personally, but I won't be.
That'd be quite a first down conversion.
It would be. I won't be greedy. 3rd down and 6 from the 6. Handoff to Smith running left. He's going to be piled up. The good news is that play took 8 seconds off the clock. It's going to be a gain of about 2. They'll give him the 7-yard line. So it's 4th and 4 from the 7 is the official mark there. 4th and 3 from the 8 or whatever. It's 4th and 4 from the 7. It doesn't really matter. The Broncos are going to have to punt it here out of their own end zone.
Yeah, and it's 10 seconds difference. If it was 3 seconds difference or something like that, then the Broncos could run a play and just, take this thing to the locker room. But 10 seconds is too long to run off the clock if you don't convert the first down, so UCO is going to have to punt it.
And for Amos, if he can field this on the fly and it doesn't bounce, then Emporia can at least take a shot into the end zone here. Vargas with the punt. Emporia brings a big block. The ball's going to bounce. That's huge for UCO at the 42. It bounces backwards. They should have let it run more.
You're right. Just run the clock.
At the 41, that was instinct from the Broncos there. The ball started bouncing backwards, and they jumped on it at the 41. They should have let it bounce a few more times. And Adam Dorrell's telling his long snapper who jumped on that one that right now.
But it's
that's what you're taught
exactly.
all the time.
Like
it goes backwards, jump on it.
It's contrary to what you're taught to let the ball roll backwards and give the opposition better field position, right? But in that situation, the referees might not have blown it dead. We might have been able to run 4 seconds off the clock.
Doesn't sound like much, but if Amos can come up and field that, they can take 2 shots into the end zone here. Now, as it is, Emporia's only got 1 shot barring a defensive penalty.
Well, and we've seen some good things out of Amos tonight. If he fields it, he's liable to make a guy miss and give him, better field position.
Broncos have 8 defenders back inside the 20-yard line. Gleason working out of the shotgun. They might drop this one off underneath. Broncos now have 8 defenders all the way back inside the 10-yard line. They do drop it off to Bennett, short at the 35, at the 30, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10-yard line, and out of bounds. And that's how the first half ends. So a stat pattern.
End of the first half.
A stat pattern for Bennett there as he gets the long catch all the way down to the 8. It was 33 yards on the play, but it does end the first half, and we go to halftime with the Broncos and the Hornets tied up at 7. John, your thoughts on the first half of play?
I mean, we're back home. It's always nice to be home, and the Broncos are making it feel good with a 7-7 tie. After last week's performance, I think if you said, hey, it's going to be 7-7 at halftime tonight, anybody would have taken that. We've seen a lot of positives out of this UCO offense, continued positives out of this UCO defense, and we've got ourselves a football game. But who's going to make the better adjustments at halftime, and who's going to come out and just want this game in the second half? I mean, stay tuned.
I do also think in the first half it feels like Stephon Brown has kind of grabbed the quarterback position as well and taken it by the reins, especially with the run he made on that touchdown. So I honestly, unless something happens, I would be kind of surprised for them to go away from him at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen the equal playing time this week, and that 14, but it seemed a lot more dangerous, at that point. Emporia State hasn't seemed that dangerous yet. Now, I know they are, and I know they have the capability to score points with their offense. But this Bronco defense has answered the challenge thus far tonight.
Dobbins to kick it away for Emporia to start this second half. Broncos won the toss and deferred, so they will receive the second half kickoff and go from north to south, which is left to right as we see it, high atop Chad Richardson Stadium. Stevens and Dangerfield back deep to receive as the left-footed Dobbins puts it in the air, floats it into the end zone, and it's going to be brought out by Stevens to the 10, to the 15, to the 20-yard line, and a flag comes flying in at the 20-yard line. Broncos are going to get a hold there, and this one's going to be taken back to the 10 or somewhere thereabouts. I will say, QB Stephon, even though that may not have been the best decision, he brought that one out from 5 yards deep last week, and he's had a couple of good kickoff returns.
Yeah, but it's like Russell Westbrook hitting the first 3 that he shoots.
10-yard penalty, first down, Central Oklahoma.
That was a hold on Dylan Buckheit, by the way.
It's like what we used to use the analogy of Westbrook hitting the first 3 that he shoots for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Well, now he's going to shoot a bunch of threes. That's not good.
Right.
So, I mean, he had success on that one he brought up, but I still think you kind of have to play blackjack there and see what the odds are. Not only do you have to get the gain out to the 25-yard line for it to be successful, but you have to hope that the 10 other guys on the field don't commit a penalty, and that's what happened right there. And the Broncos now starting with much worse field position than they could have.
1st and 10 at the 10. Kemper behind Stephon Brown, who's in the shotgun on first down. Takes the snap, looks left, throws quick left. It's complete to Delso, and he's not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Just a quick little pass in the flats, and he'll lose back to the 8-yard line, 9-yard line, loss of 1. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Want to remind you here in the second half, you can email us in the booth, ucoradio@gmail.com. We've loved the interaction tonight. We've got several emails still from the first half that we will get to as time allows. But fill up that email box. We'll give you a shout-out.
2nd down and 11 from their own 9 for the Broncos here. Just underway second half in a 7-7 game here from Chad Richardson Stadium between UCO and Emporia State. Snap and a counter play to Kemper running left, and not a whole lot there. He gets a yard back to the original line of scrimmage at the 10, and it's going to be a 3rd down and 10 for the Broncos on their opening drive of the second half.
Yeah, that play right there, I think the story of that play was the lack of sustained blocks. I mean, on counter blocks, a lot of times you have guys pulling, and you can't just hit someone and think you're going to plant them into the turf. If they bounce off your block and they're still there able to make the tackle, and that's exactly what happened right there.
Broncos need to get out to the 20 on this 3rd down play. Brown, 4-man rush, straight drop, throws over the middle, complete to McGee at the 20, at the 25, stumbling forward to the 29-yard line. The 6-year senior from UConn makes the grab. 19 yards, a 3rd down conversion for the Broncos.
Man, the COVID era is weird, right? The 6th-year senior, and he didn't have like a medical
4 injuries.
Yeah,
right?
I mean it's just weird. And it's hard to even know what class these guys are in. Anymore. You have to look at the roster to you can't go off memory.
1st and 10 at the 29. Handoff to Kemper, trying to get outside right. Nothing there, so he just lowers his head and turns upfield and gets what he can to the 30 for a 1-yard gain.
We'll say hi to Cole Johnson. Cole said, just want to shout out number 21, Connor Johnson. He's my brother, and he's a beast. And you know what? That's what brothers have to say. So, Cole, good job there on the email, and we're glad you emailed us here in the booth. UCOradio@gmail.com.
Connor made a big play on one of those 4th down stops in the first half for the Broncos. 2nd and 9, fake handoff to Kemper, this time in the flat to the fullback, Carney, who runs over a defender and out of bounds at the 35. That's that classic play-action fullback out in the flat for a 5-yard gain.
My favorite thing in football is when the defender gets trucked and then stands up and talks a lot of trash. I don't understand that. You did make the stop, he did go out of bounds, but it didn't look good. It didn't look tough, and then you get up and start barking. I don't know, just different mentality.
That was Montrell Wilson out there on the edge. I believe he's a Millwood product, Montrell Wilson. 3rd down and 4 from the 35. Here's a pitch on a reverse going left to Diego Richards, and he's got nothing. He turned that one up, and the Hornets read that one right from the get-go. It's no gain. It'll be 4th down, and the Broncos will punt it away.
Yeah, just no blocking there on the left side for the Broncos, or certainly well-called defensive scheme by Emporia State. That was Declan Hobb that came in and made the stop for Emporia State. He's from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Is Emporia State in Oklahoma?
It seems like it sometimes.
Is Emporia, Kansas? Did it move? They always have a ton. Of course, the Garen Higgins connection. I mean, they have a ton of guys on their roster every year from this great state.
Vargas to punt this one away. No pressure. Gets the kick away. It's a line drive, long kick that Amos makes a fair catch on going backwards all the way at his 15-yard line. That's a 50-yard punt. We'll call it a 51-yard punt. 50 yards. I'll mark it at the 15. So 50 yards, no return. and Emporia will take over 1st and 10 at their own 15.
Amos probably a little frustrated with himself. He probably could have caught that and gotten a decent return.
Sure.
He definitely had a little bit of cushion between him and the first defenders when he did catch that ball. But it's often just so hard to tell when that ball comes off the foot, and especially when it's a high punt and you're trying to size up the situation. So probably better safe than sorry there.
There's a quick pass out on the left side on 1st down from Gleason, and it's complete out to the 20-yard line. He catches Jalen Varner for a gain of 5, and quick to the line with an empty backfield. Now Ross comes into the backfield for Gleason, who hands it off to him right side. Ross running off right guard, and he gets about a yard up to the 21. Not much there as Noah West is in on the stop, along with Connor Johnson, who we just mentioned his brother emailing us in earlier. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 from the 21.
See, and then the right guard for Emporia State gets a talking to by the official. He pushes Fuentes after the play. Fuentes pushes him back. They did see the guy that started it, so they went and had a talk with him. But that's what I'm doing to Fuentes all the time, is trying to get him to retaliate. I don't mind that play by the offensive lineman.
Broncos bring 5 on 3rd down, throwing the flat and getting away from a man at the 35-40, and downfield he is going to go. It's going to be an Emporia touchdown. It's in the flat. Corey Thomas got that one and got free for a long touchdown. 79 yards. It was just a simple pass out in the flat. The Broncos miss a tackle, and Thomas takes it to the house to give Emporia a 13-7 lead.
And one missed tackle on that play is the culprit there, and the Broncos are going to fall victim to that, and Emporia State takes big advantage of it by breaking the long touchdown. Unfortunate for the defender that missed that, but Emporia State takes advantage, and now this UCO offense is going to have to come out, get the Broncos back in this ballgame.
Pretty sure that's the first catch of the game for Corey Thomas. Jack Diamond will hold. Sam Dobbins, the kicker for Emporia here, is the snap and hold are good. The kick is away, and he missed it. He pushed it to the left and missed it. So Emporia leads by 6. 10:40 to go, 3rd quarter. It's Emporia State 13, UCO 7. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5. All over Fort Hays State in Hays, Kansas tonight. 28-7, the Griffins lead that one. And Pitt State and Kearney are in a good one. 3rd quarter from Kearney, Nebraska, tied up at 21 between the Lopers and the Gorillas.
Want to say hi to Lavette Hughes. Says, proud mother of Marlo Hughes. I'm in the hospital with a broken leg, but I most definitely am watching on my phone. I wouldn't miss a game, even for a broken leg. Love you, Marlo Hughes. Go Broncos. And Lavette, man, we wish you a speedy recovery. Sorry you're in the hospital, but we're just honored to be able to bring the game to you. And we're glad you emailed us here, ucoradio@gmail.com.
Dobbins will kick this one away for Emporia. Stevens and Dangerfield deep to receive for the Broncos, standing at the 5-yard line. Dobbins with a high kick that's going to be fair caught by Dangerfield at the 2, and the Broncos will take over at the 25. And somewhere, in fact, just to my right, somebody is smiling.
Well, I liked it that Dangerfield fair caught it. He gave the signal, then he caught it. Then he looked at the ref and gave the signal again, like, did you see that? We get the ball at the 25. Did you see that? And maybe he was doing that so that all the coaches saw it too. Maybe they had a conversation over there.
Honestly, for a guy like Javion Dangerfield, who's a redshirt freshman, like that's a foreign concept to fair catch a kickoff at the 5. Like it probably takes some getting used to.
Well, and especially at the 5-yard line, you think, well, this is returnable, but it's the ones that are deep in the end zone that get me.
Broncos start right hash from the 25 as Dangerfield goes in motion right to left. Fake handoff to Cottrell, rolling right is Brown. Looking, pressured, steps in and just throws it away into the bench. It'll be 2nd and 10. Good job by Brown to at least keep that from being a loss and throwing it away.
Yeah, offensive lineman pulled out on that play. There was one offensive lineman that pulled out to protect Brown, and he just didn't do it. The defender, came running right at him and kind of drove him right back into Brown. So got to be able to protect the quarterback on that play.
2nd and 10 from the 25. Man in motion is Davis as Brown hands to Smith. Running right, has a big hole, hit hard, stays on his feet at the 30, at the 35. Boy, Antonio Smith got hit hard and he spun around, put his hand on the turf, got 5 extra yards, and got a 1st down on a 10-yard run.
Beautiful run. Absolutely great job. Great athleticism, keeping his feet and finishing that run. He got just to where he needed to get the 1st down for UCO.
Dominic Dunn from Mustang into the game at tight end. So you've got one tight end from Mustang on the left and Dante McGee, the tight end from UConn, on the right. Shotgun snap as Brown hands to Smith up the middle to the 38, pushing the pile forward to the 40, 5-yard run. on first down. I got to tell you, Antonio Smith Jr., the freshman from Tulsa, has looked good here in this one for the Broncos.
Making a good case tonight for his, his playing time in the future for UCO.
Cottrell's back in at running back on this 2nd and 5 play for UCO from their own 40. 9:40 to go third quarter, 13-7 Emporia leads. Brown in the shotgun, Cottrell's to his left. 3 receivers left, 1 right for Brown, who drops to set up the screen to McGee, and it goes through his hands. McGee had blockers in front of him. That's the second one he's dropped tonight. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
I mean, that's the equivalent of a handoff. Essentially, you're setting that up, but it's kind of a glorified handoff, that screen pass. Got to catch that ball. You can't be so excited about running with it that you don't take it with you. And the 6-year senior is upset with himself about that one.
Delso, Bizell, and Richards on at receiver as Cottrell goes split out wide right on this 3rd down play. Empty backfield. 5 yards to go for Brown. 4-man rush. Brown floats one. Left side for Delso. Delso goes up to make the grab, and he can't do it at the Emporia 32-yard line. A little bit underthrown. Good coverage out on the edge, and it'll be 4th down, and the Broncos will punt it back.
Will Wabansi emails us here in the booth, says, how about them Hornet Stingers up, Big John? And that's funny because Will is someone I know. He's a Tulsa resident and a friend of mine, and he's throwing some Emporia State at us. So, Will, listen, we don't care who you're rooting for. We're glad you emailed us here in the booth. I hope you're doing well, big fella. Thanks for emailing us, ucoradio@gmail.com.
Vargas with a high spiraling kick. A flag comes down as Amos fair catches it at the 16-yard line, and we may move this back even more. Yeah, it's going to be a hold on Emporia here. We'll hear from our referee officially. I think he'll move it back to the 8-yard line after we go half the distance.
Kick, holding number 0, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. First down, Emporia State.
And we got a timeout on the field. 9:12 to go, third quarter. 13-7, Emporia State leads UCO. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5. Welcome back into Chad Richardson Stadium. Home opener for the UCO Broncos. They trail Emporia State 13-7 with 9:12 to go third quarter. Todd Lisenby joined in the booth by John Fitzgerald. As Emporia State, after the holding penalty, will start from their own 8-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Hornets, and Braden Gleason, their quarterback, in the shotgun. Gleason sends a man in motion on first down, hands it off to the running back Petz right up the middle. Flag comes down at the snap as Petz carries it out to the 15 for a gain of about 7. I thought I saw a flag. Never mind. Maybe it was just a UCO coach in a white shirt or yellow shirt that threw his arm up, as now Petz gets a handoff on 2nd down and 3 from the 15 and runs up to the 16 for a gain of 1. It's going to be a 3rd down and about 2. We'll call it 3rd down and 1 from just outside the 17-yard line. So need to get a little over a yard here. Need to get to the 18 from the 17. 3rd and 1 for Emporia. Petz is the running back again. 3-man front for the Broncos. Handoff to Petz, running right. Boy, it's going to be really close. I don't think he got it. He did not get it. He got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. He's a yard short, and UCO forces a 3-and-out. 3 run plays from the Hornets. They get 8 on first down, 1 on second down, 0 on third down. And again, we see the Broncos defense not great on first and second down, but really good on 3rd and 4th down, John.
Yeah, and Emporia State, they take the 3-and-out, and they ran off 13 seconds on the clock. No, I'm kidding. They run their offense goes so fast that they don't run any clock in that. I mean, 3 plays. That Emporia State defense does not get a lot of rest over there if Emporia State goes 3-and-out.
Brunghart to kick this one away, rugby-style punt. Steps into it, end over end. Fair catch called for and made by Dangerfield at the 48-yard line for UCO. And that's where they will have it, their own 48-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Broncos.
We'll say what's up to Alton Lusk, who's actually here in the stadium, but he hit us up on Twitter. I'm at UCO Radio. Todd is at Todd on Franchise. Alton was actually a teammate of mine and an outstanding wide receiver signed with the New York Giants.
You told me he was not any good.
Out of time at UCO. That is definitely not true. I could tell some stories about Alton and some of the things he did for us in games, particularly in the conference championship of our undefeated 98 season. But he was a stud. We're glad he hit us up here on Twitter.
1st down and 10 Broncos, their own 48. Fake handoff, rolling left. There's a pass out in the flat, complete from Stephon Brown to Oscar Hammond, the tight end, making his first grab of the game. And Hammond barrels through a defender and out of bounds after a gain of about 5 from the UCO 48 down to the Emporia 47.
Everybody checks their play cards on their wrist, and the Broncos are lined up ready to go.
2nd down and 5 from the Emporia 47. Shotgun snap to Brown. Has got an empty backfield. Quarterback run, 45-40. Cuts it upfield, down the middle of the field to the 37-yard line in Emporia territory. They'll actually say forward progress down at the 38. That's a 9-yard run, though, and a first down.
Putting his head down, too, at the end. Steph Brown's a big guy, and, I like his aggressiveness on the run. Just got to keep those quarterbacks protected. Be safe out there.
1st and 10 at the Emporia 38. Kemper in the backfield, takes the handoff, running left. Flag comes in at the 35-30. This is going to be a big run, but it's coming back at the 25-20, at the 19-yard line. And this flag is a killer, John, because I don't even think it was really around the play.
Yeah, but you can't hold. I mean, if they saw something in there, and I wasn't watching the interior play there, I was watching out on the edge where the ball went. So, typically, and this could be a chop block. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
56 and 76 offense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
I don't want to sound like that guy, but I was getting ready to say that because typically on the inside of the line, they're not going to call a hold in that situation, and so it's either a hands to the face by the defender a lot of times, or you get in that chop block situation. And that's exactly what it is. So not only is it a killer penalty for erasing the run, but it's the personal foul, so it really backs the Broncos up here.
Yeah, it was a 17-yard run from the 37 to the 20. And instead, it's a 15-yard penalty. So net 32 yards lost on that play. The Broncos have it 1st and 10 from their own 47. Shotgun snap to Brown, fake handoff, rolling right, looking back left to set up the screen. He's just going to try to keep it and get what he can across midfield to the Emporia State 48-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and about 20 here. 2nd down and about 20.
So full playbook.
We'll call it 2nd and 21 officially from the Emporia 48. 6:05 to go, 3rd quarter. Broncos trail 13-7. Cottrell in the backfield. 3 receivers, tight end McGee to the left. Brown takes the snap, has time. Cottrell picks up the blitz. Now it gets to him. Brown rolls away from it. To his left at the 45, looking to throw. He's just going to run out of bounds for no gain, as an Emporia player goes flying into the bench. And it's going to be 3rd down and 21.
It was weird because it looked like the Emporia defender tried to hit Brown out of bounds, like that was his intention, but he didn't, and so it didn't result in anything. But instead he hit an Emporia State staffer over there, maybe one of the assistant coaches who's got the red shirt on there.
So 3rd and 21 Broncos from the Emporia 48. They need to get to the 27-yard line here. 3-man rush, and now a 4th rush as Brown floats one down the middle of the field into coverage and nearly picked off. Just a flat-out drop by the defender that time, as that was Mike Sims on the coverage, and it's going to be 4th down now for the Broncos, and they'll punt it away and look to pin Emporia State deep here.
Well, and that's why, like, an interception right there wouldn't have been the worst thing, because it was basically like a punt, right? They would have had the ball deep in their own territory. Now, I mean, it's always a gamble on a punt. They could end up with better field position. They could end up with worse, but that would not have been the, certainly a horrible outcome had UCO thrown the pick there, other than statistically for Steph Brown.
Vargas to punt it away. It's a high end-over-end short kick. It's going to hit, take a big UCO bounce inside the 5, down to the 1-yard line. David Vargas, 47 yards. It's down at the 1. Perfectly executed punt by the Broncos. And with 5:11 to go, 3rd quarter, Emporia State will take over right near their own goal line.
So I told you it was good that they didn't pick that ball off, because now UCO got to punt it and pin them even further back. What a great punt, and definitely the worst field position for Emporia State today. I mean, they're inside the 1-yard line. I guess the nose of the ball touching the 1, so that puts it at the 1. But this is, the Broncos have made some tackles for loss tonight, so this is where, they could really use that defensive line to stack up that Emporia State O-line and get somebody flying in there for a safety.
I know not a sexy thing to say, but both punters have been incredible tonight in a game where they've been called on a lot in a 13-7 defensive struggle.
I thought that was pretty sexy.
Gleason in the shotgun on first down. Has Ross, fakes it to him, keeps it, looking to get out of the end zone. Boy, he just did. He just got back to the line of scrimmage at the 1, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, we played Northwestern Oklahoma State in my first game of the 98 season, and our punter was the player of the week. We won that game 3-0. We had no offense, unfortunately, that game, but we hung on and won, and the punter got the conference player of the week.
2nd down and 10 from the 1 for Emporia. Gleason takes the snap, hands off, no fakes the handoff, over the top on a little tight end pop, and it's well executed across the 30 to the 35 to the 38-yard line. Making the grab that time for Emporia. That was Tommy Zimmerman. Just a little tight end pop play, faked the handoff, got it to Zimmerman, and it's a 38-yard gain from the 1, or 36-yard gain from the 1 out to the 37. There's a pass in the flat, nearly picked off, and Zimmerman grabs it up at the 42.
Great play calling on that previous second down play there by Emporia State. Tip of the cap to their coaching staff. Everybody thought they were going to run, just avoid the safety, and they tricked everybody in the stadium, got the ball out to midfield.
2nd and 5, 43-yard line. So it's a 37-yard gain from the 1 and then a 5-yard gain on first down. 2nd and 5. Gleason, straight drop, 3-man rush. Pressured, rolls away. A hold's going to come in here as Gleason's going to keep it and slide just short of the 50-yard line. He's going to be short of the first down, but this one's coming back.
I was going to be very upset if they didn't throw that flag, because that was very blatant hold right in front of the official. So, definitely agree with that call, as a Bronco commentator would. But that one was egregious and had to be called.
When you have a 3-man rush like that, there's not a whole lot for them to watch, right? I mean, if you hold one of those three, it's very likely they're going to find it.
And you got 5 guys to block 3, so why are you having to hold right there? But
it's Michael Slater, I think, that worked to get that holding penalty.
Yeah, so I mean, Slater's he is a handful, literally. Yep. I mean, he's a tough guy to deal with.
Fuentes, Largent, and Slater across the front line for UCO defensively. As on 2nd down, a little shovel pass underneath to Ross. Ross gets across the 35 to the 38-yard line. So he gains from the 33 to the 38, and we go from 2nd and 15 to now 3rd down and 9. They'll give him the 39. So we'll call that a 6-yard gain on 2nd and 15. It's 3rd and 9. Gleason in the shotgun. They need to get up to the 49-yard line here for a first down. Gleason rolling to his right, pressured, shovels one forward to Ross, who catches it, gets away from the first man. He's going to be a yard short of the first down. It's going to be 4th down and 1, just short of midfield.
Garen Higgins is lighting his quarterback up over there about maybe the decision on that. Maybe he saw somebody down the field that they could have thrown to, but Emporia is going to bring the punt team onto the field. And, they've punted a lot tonight. They've gone for it a lot tonight. This is at midfield. This is one of those situations where I'd be really aware of what Emporia State is doing.
Yeah. I also think, though, the Broncos' offense has still struggled, and I think they want to make them drive the whole field for sure.
Fair point.
Brunghart will punt this one away. He does kick it away. It's a high kick that Dangerfield calls for a fair catch on and makes at the 12-yard line, and that's where UCO will take over. So it's a punt of 40 yards with no return, and the Broncos have it 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. 3 other games in the MIAA tonight. As we check in on those, first let's go to Warrensburg, Missouri, where Washburn, the Ichabods, lead the Mules 33-24 in the 3rd quarter. Mo West is running it up on Fort Hays State. They're headed to the 4th now, 35-7, the Griffins lead. And Pitt State leads at Nebraska Kearney 28-21 late 3rd quarter. Brown in the shotgun, quarterback run, going right, looking to get outside, now cuts it up at the 15-yard line. He'll gain about 3 on first down. It's going to be 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, Missouri Western, I mean, obviously their offense can score some points, and, maybe we don't know how good Fort Hays is going to be. It's always just so hard to tell in the second week of the season. unless you're just, beating people 65-0 every game. But so the time will tell the story on Missouri Western, but last week might have been a little tougher foe than we thought.
2nd down and 7 from the 15. Brown looking, throwing over the middle, complete. Diego Richards makes the grab right at the 20-yard line. A couple yards short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 2. 2 games on Saturday as well in the MIAA. 2 p.m. in Jeff City, Missouri. Northwest Missouri State travels to Lincoln. And then 6 p.m. in Tahlequah, Missouri Southern. Our opponent next week up in Joplin takes on Northeastern. 3rd and 2 for the Broncos from their own 20. Need to get to the 22 here as Brown works out of the shotgun with an empty backfield. Expecting a quarterback run here, John? It is a quarterback run. Going left. Brown turns it up. Boy, he's going to be close. I don't think he got it. He's a yard short. He lowered his head and tried to get the first down. There just was not enough push up front. And it's going to be 4th down and 1, and UCO is going to punt it back.
Yeah, and this,
those hurt, don't they?
To your point, I mean, the UCO offense has not really shown, and especially lately, a reason that Emporia State shouldn't punt the ball to them and put them deep in their own territory. So there's no reason for Emporia State to risk things like going for it at midfield until UCO, starts putting drives together and really threatening, and they just haven't been able to do it.
Amos standing at his own 36 as Vargas punts this one away. This one angles toward the Emporia sideline and bounces out of bounds at about the Emporia 45-yard line. They'll mark it at the 43, which I think is a great spot for him, actually. So we'll call that a punt of 37 yards with no return, and that's where Emporia will start this drive at their own 43-yard line.
And this UCO defense now, it kind of feels like with 37 seconds left in the third quarter that it kind of feels like last week right now, where this defense is having to carry the load, and how long can they bear that weight, right? Without breaking. If they can, UCO's got to get some offense going. Obviously, if the defense could give them a short field, that would be helpful. But you can't ask the defense to do everything out there on the football field.
I mentioned obviously next Saturday in Joplin. That is a 5 p.m. kick in Joplin next Saturday, so our pregame coverage will begin about 4:45 for that one as Gleason on first down drops to throw. Gleason rolls to his right, stepping away from pressure, gets what he can, which is a couple yards from the 43 up to the 45 before he steps out of bounds untouched. Coming up on the end of the third quarter here, clock stop, 29 seconds to go third quarter, 13-7 Emporia leads. I didn't even see a flag.
Well, I thought the whistles, they're called on the defense, by the way. It's holding on the defense.
Don't see that one very often.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're saying the quarterback didn't have anybody to throw it to, right? And so he had to take off running, so they give the hold. I thought the whistles went on for a little long after the play, but I was looking for a flag. I didn't see it either, Todd, so it must have been maybe on one of the sidelines.
Right. Yeah, I guess that hold would have been in the secondary. You're right. That's probably why we missed it. It was probably downfield on the run play. So that penalty is going to move the ball to the Bronco 45-yard line after the 2-yard run, the 10-yard penalty. It's 1st and 10 at the UCO 45. Gleason in the shotgun, fakes the handoff to Ross. Looking right, has time, now steps into one, throws it, and just throws it away. The ball boy in the bright yellow shirt had the best chance to catch that one on the sideline. 2 seconds to go third quarter. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, the game day staff doing a good job here for the Broncos. They were positioned throughout the stadium in those neon shirts. If you need help, or maybe you've lost your way, or you get lost in the forest.
Gleason hands off to Ross. Ross bouncing around up the middle of the field. Nice gainer down to the 37 in Bronco territory. 8-yard run, and that takes us to the end of the third quarter. 1 quarter to play here in Edmond at Chad Richardson Stadium. UCO hanging on in this one. They trail 13-7. The Broncos need a big defensive stop to start the fourth quarter. It'll be 3rd and 2 Emporia at the UCO 37 when we get underway in the fourth quarter. After 3, Hornets 13, Broncos 7. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5. Been even better on 4th down. Emporia, I believe the stat is they are 3 for 13 on third downs and 0 for 3 on fourth downs in this one. A little delay here in getting play started back up as the referee is having a conversation with Emporia quarterback Braden Gleason. Now our white hat will signal it ready for play.
I think he thought we were still in the media timeout. Like, he was laughing, and like it wasn't a – we definitely were not.
3rd and 2 at the 37. Emporia now looks to the sideline, working from the right hash. Broncos with a 3-man front. Billy Ross is the running back to the left of the quarterback, Braden Gleason. Gleason claps his hand, takes the snap, throws left side in the flat, and it's low and incomplete. Tried to get it out to Schumacher in the flat, or excuse me, that was Common in the flats that time who couldn't make the grab, and it's 4th and 2 now. And Emporia's 0 for 3 on fourth downs in this game, and this would be a huge stop for the Bronco defense if they could get it.
While they're trying to figure out what to do, I'm going to put a call out to Emporia State fans. If you know what the green sticker is on the back of the Emporia State helmets, shoot me an email in the booth, ucoradio@gmail.com. Just curious what that sticker is.
4th down and 2 from the 37-yard line for Emporia. Gleason rolling right. Gleason pumps, looking, throwing. Incomplete! He had no one to throw it to. He threw it into the bench. He took a hit as he threw it, and the Broncos take over on the turnover on down.
Boy, and he held on to that ball till the last second with a big defensive lineman closing in on him, and then he finally had to throw it, as you said, into that bench, and there just wasn't anything to the short side of the field there. UCO's defense holds again on 4th down. And, you know, I said that this game has a feel like the offense isn't doing anything now and the defense is, but we're still only down by 6 points. Like, you are literally a touchdown away from taking the lead in this game. And so this UCO offense has to come out with a little bit of fire and put a drive together. It's 4th quarter. It's time to go.
I think I know your answer to the green sticker. We'll get to it after this play. 1st and 10 from the 37 as Brown takes the snap, fakes the handoff, setting up a screen to Kemper. He's got a lot of space right side. Blockers in front. 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. Oh, and an ankle tackle inside the 40-yard line, or Kemper scores a touchdown.
And listen up, Emporia State fans. I think the Broncos got away with a hold in the backfield there by an offensive lineman that I would have called if I were an official, but they did not. So UCO gets the benefit of the doubt there. Emporia, I feel like, has gotten some of those earlier tonight. So it tends to ebb and flow in a football game, and the Broncos get it back right there.
My guess is the green stickers for Brexton Green, who was from Cashin, who passed away in an accident this offseason.
That's right,
Last
yes.
name Green, so that would make sense for the green sticker. As Brown fakes the handoff on 1st down from the 36 in Emporia territory. Rolling right, throws it up for grabs. Lots of hand fighting going on between the receiver and defensive back, and it's incomplete. Dante McGee, the intended receiver, down inside the 20.
And that was just a horrible story, Todd. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah,
and,
Grand Lake.
Cashin,
right?
not far from here. It was a cliff diving accident, and I've got friends that are friends with his family, and just was a horrible thing to see unfold on social media and in the lives of these young men and the families. So we definitely want to pass our condolences on to the Green family, the Emporia State football family, and you're probably right, Todd. That's a good catch.
2nd and 10 for the Broncos at the 36 in Emporia territory. Brown under center, fakes the handoff, rolling right, pressured, steps away from the first man. He's going to try to run with it to the 35, to the 34, maybe the 33 on that lean forward for about a 3-yard gain. Again, turned what would have been a sack into a 3-yard gain, and it's 3rd and 7 now for the Broncos, who, John, might be in 4-down territory here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why you would punt in this situation
or
at
try
this
a field
point
goal
in the game. You've got to give yourself, the shortest field you can, and the Broncos haven't been in this field position in a minute.
3rd down and 7 from the 33. Out of the backfield in motion is Cottrell as Brown, 4-man rush, steps up. He'll run with it, 30, 28, 25. 1st down and more. He leans down to the 21-yard line. Stephon Brown just slithered through defenders for a 1st down run. They'll mark him at the 20, and it's 1st and 10 Broncos in the red zone.
Outstanding run by Brown, and we haven't said Broncos in the red zone much through 7+ quarters of football this season. So it's good to see the Broncos down here, but you got to capitalize on it. You got to hit pay dirt. UCO's Steph Brown has got to lead them to the end zone.
Antonio Smith Jr. in at running back, and he'll get the handoff on 1st down, running right, and he is corralled at the 19-yard line. Don't care how good a running back you are. You aren't running away from 3 of those Hornet players at the same time. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Certainly hard to run through 3 of them at the same time, even if you're on the larger size as a running back. And but you got to mix up the offensive play calling, and I don't hate that because Smith has done a good job of slipping through defenders tonight up the middle of the offensive line. He didn't do it there, but we've certainly seen it be successful tonight.
Jordan Williams, first one there for Emporia on the stop, 2nd and 9 at the 19. Brown throws right side quick to Richards underneath, looking for room on the screen, and it just got jumbled up, and he didn't have much there. He just gets a yard to the 18, and it'll be 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, it was Declan Hobb again out of Kingfisher that kind of blew that thing up from his defensive line position. He read it.
He's had a great game.
Instead of pursuing the quarterback, he flowed out towards the sideline, and when the back tried to come back behind the 2 pulling offensive linemen, Hobb was behind them and able to clog up the lane.
3rd down and 8 from the 18 for UCO. Need to get it to the 10-yard line of Emporia for a first down. Brown, straight drop, plenty of time. Rolls to his right. Brown looking, runs with it, 15, cuts forward. He's going to be about 2 yards short. He's at the 12. It's going to be 4th and 2 for the Broncos at the 12.
But does a field goal, do you take the field goal here with 11 and a half minutes to play? Or do you go for it? I don't see any kickers coming onto the field, so they're going to go for it. The Broncos figure maybe 3 points doesn't do a lot for you here.
It's 4th and a long 2. The ball sits outside the 12.
Now they're going to think about it.
They're going to talk it over. We'll take the timeout with them. 11-17 to play, 13-7. Emporia leads. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5.
Fans, we want to remind you, stick around after the...
Welcome back, Chad Richardson Stadium on a beautiful Thursday night, 11-17 to play. Big play for the Broncos here. 4th down and a little more than 2 yards, just outside the 12-yard line. Need to get it to the 10 in Emporia territory for a first down. 13-7 Emporia leads with 11-17 to go. Kemper is in the backfield to the left of Brown, who takes the snap. Brown's going to throw it in the flat to Kemper. He's wide open at the 10, the 5. He welts in for a Bronco touchdown. Emporia was expecting the run. They slipped Nasir Kemper out of the backfield, and he makes a touchdown grab. And with a 12-yard touchdown from Stephon Brown to Nasir Kemper, the Broncos have tied the game, and Nicky Quevedo will come on to try to put UCO in the lead for the first time this season.
And if you just joined us, this is Nicky Quevedo's 4th PAT attempt of the evening, although only 1 counted. They've all been good, but only 1 counted. He had to kick 3 times on the first touchdown.
Snap and hold look good. The kick is low, but it's through, and that's all that matters. 11-10 to play in the game, and UCO is in the lead. 14-13, Broncos on top. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5.
And just a nice job by UCO to take advantage, and they came out with that fire. I said they needed to, and they did just that, and they put a drive together, and they've taken the lead, like you said, for the first time this season. But, Todd, there's 11 minutes and 10 seconds left. This game's 14. This game could end like 32-31. There's enough time left.
Well, remember the
for
game they played here about 5 years ago?
I know.
That's like a 53-50.
That's what I'm thinking of. So, but this Bronco defense has now got to come out and continue to hold up their end of the bargain and put the offense back out on the field.
Quevedo will kick it away. This time, Quevedo doesn't worry about angling the kick. Instead, he kicks it into the first O in Broncos, and it bounces through the end zone and out of it for a touchback. Scores around the MIAA tonight. 3 other games going on. Late third quarter, Washburn 40, Central Missouri 24, that game in Warrensburg. Early fourth quarter, Mo West leading Fort Hays State 35-19, so Fort Hays State with a couple touchdowns, but the Griffins still in control in that one. And a good one up in Kearney, Nebraska. Halfway through the fourth quarter, 28-28 between the Gorillas of Pitt State and the Lopers of Nebraska Kearney. 1st and 10, Emporia from their own 25. Gleason in the shotgun, rolls left, pressured, steps into one, throws, it's tipped, and it's incomplete. Boy, the tip drill From this angle, John, it was hard to tell. It went into the Emporia bench, but it looked like it was there for an interception momentarily.
It sure did, but good defense, good coverage by the Broncos, good pursuit by the defensive line to force the throw on the run, and they're just, other than the intended receiver, there wasn't anybody over there.
Ross in motion out of the backfield. Gleason throws right side complete across the 30 to the 31. That's Schumacher on the catch.
That was a really nice catch by Schumacher.
Was
He
in
had to
traffic.
come off some pretty good coverage to concentrate that ball into his hands. He did a nice job.
3rd down and 4 from the 31 for Emporia. They need to get up to the 35 here. 4-man look up front for the Broncos as Gleason takes the shotgun snap. Looks, throws left, complete to Schumacher. 1st down across the 35 to the 37. QB Stephon on the coverage. And it's a gain of 6 and a 1st down. 2 straight 6-yard passes from Braden Gleason to Cole Schumacher. 1st and 10. Gleason, empty backfield. Pressured, rolling left, throwing, complete to Billy Ross Jr. on the sideline. And we'll see where they mark him out. They're going to say he got no gain. He caught it right at the line of scrimmage. And it'll be 2nd and 10.
I thought he got up the field a little bit before he stepped out, but he must have been right there on the sideline when he caught it.
2nd and 10 at the 37. Gleason, straight drop, throwing left side, wheel route, overthrown and incomplete. Boy, he had his tight end that time free. That was Zimmerman who was free, but a throw couldn't catch him, and it's going to be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Broncos dodge a bullet there as the wide open receiver gets a ball that he's not able to get up and get.
3rd and 10, Emporia from their own 32. UCO leads 14-13, 10:05 to play. Gleason, straight drop, steps up, pressured, hit. He is sacked! Back inside the 35.
That Noah West.
Noah West, the first one to get there, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, he just came on a hard outside rush up the field, got on the outside shoulder of the left tackle and beat him. He did a rip move and got past him. He was being held a little bit. He got to the quarterback still, and just a fantastic defensive play at a critical time where the Broncos have taken all the momentum, and now they're going to get the ball back.
So the line of scrimmage was the 37. I believe I said 32. It was a 4-yard loss to the 33, and now Brunghart will rugby-style kick this one away. It's kind of a sideways spiraling kick that Diego Richards makes a fair catch on at the 22-yard line. And we have a timeout on the field. We will take it with them. 9:18 to play. 14 UCO on top. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5. Welcome back into Chad Richardson Stadium. The Broncos take over after Emporia punts it away. 9:18 to go. UCO with the ball. 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line. And the Broncos clinging to a 14-13 lead. Perfect weather as it's cooled down, as the sun's gone down. The flags are not moving hardly at all. It's a beautiful night here in Edmond, Oklahoma at beautiful Chad Richardson Stadium. 1st and 10 at the 22 for UCO. In the shotgun. Fake handoff. Brown keeps it right up the middle. 25, diving forward all the way up to the 29-yard line. They'll mark him at the 28. I don't think that's a great spot. It's still a good run on 1st down, 6 yards.
Yeah, Steph Brown is 6'5", but he's not, he's not 8 feet tall, like if that's where they think his knee hit.
Right.
Way back there.
2nd down from the 28. After that 6-yard 1st down run. Kemper in the backfield to the left of Brown. Kemper on the counter. No, Kemper's going to throw it. Kemper looking for McGee upfield, and it's underthrown and incomplete. Emporia actually had that covered pretty well, considering it was a handoff and a halfback pass, and it'll be 3rd down and 4.
Well, and it was a slow-developing counter handoff, halfback pass. So it would have been real understandable for the defenders to kind of come off of the coverage and step up to defend the run. So I like the play call. I hate that you take it out of the playbook and fail, right, because you want those wrinkles to surprise the defense, and they just didn't there.
3rd down and 4. Big 3rd down from the Broncos from their own 28. Need to get it to the 32. Brown straight drop in the flat to Kemper. Kemper for the sticks. He's got the 1st down. He's brought out of bounds at the 37, but Nasir Kemper just outruns the linebacker to the sticks and gains enough.
I want to say hi to Tony Coling real quick. He emailed us from Council Bluffs, Iowa, and He emailed us a really nice email. I'm not going to read it all. It's a lot of self-indulgent things that would be said, but I know Todd already told me he's going to print it off and put it on his refrigerator. So, Tony, we appreciate you emailing us here in the booth. We want to hear from everybody. UCOradio@gmail.com.
Cade Harrelson made that last play for the Hornets. Is on first down, handoff to the fullback, Carney out of the I formation, and the pile's moving across the 40 all the way up to the 44-yard line. That looked like a 1-yard gain, and the offensive line and the big fullback, Andrew Carney, just kept chugging along up to the 44.
And I love that the linemen can get behind him and push him. I feel like when I played, that was against the rules. And,
I do too.
And it has changed since then. You still can't pull them.
I got called for it in high school.
I love that those guys just get behind them and say, well, let's just drive and pick up another 2 or 3 yards.
2nd and 3 from their own 44. Brown in the gun. Fakes the handoff to Kemper. Keeps it left side to the 45, to the 46. He carries a tackler up to the 48. He got 3 extra yards after contact, and the big-bodied quarterback, Stephon Brown, gives the Broncos another first down.
I thought Brown really didn't read his blockers too well on that one. He kind of just ran right into the pile. Could have made a cut to the left off of that lead blocker, but I like that play. I like that fake handoff, and then the running back becomes the lead blocker for Steph Brown.
The old quarterback follow is what
fantastic.
it is. Yeah. 1st and 10 at their own 48 for the Broncos. Over halfway through the fourth quarter now, 7:15 to play. Brown running left at the 50, turns up, runs over his own man, jumps over his own man, still on his feet at the 40 and all the way down to the 35.
Is this the Missouri Western game last year? Like Steph Brown is just driving the ball down the field with his own feet. I feel like that's what we saw in the season opener last year, and then kind of the rest of the conference was like, oh, okay, this guy, we're gonna stop him. But Emporia State having a difficult time stopping Brown.
They're going to say Brown stepped out at the 37, so that's a 11-yard run and a first down. Broncos have it a 15-yard run and a first down from their own 48 to the 37 in Emporia territory. Cottrell is the deep back this time. He gets the handoff left, cuts, dips under a tackle at the 35-30, still on his feet, 25, dragging a tackler all the way down to the 21-yard line. Jalen Cottrell made a nice cut at the line. He kind of ducked down. A defender went over the top of him, and he runs for a big gainer.
I don't think you misspoke there. I think you described the situation perfectly. That was draggling.
That's right.
They were trying to tackle, and he was dragging. I thought that was perfect.
16 yards on the run. I believe that was Cade Harrelson that made the draggle for Emporia State on the play. It's 1st and 10 at the 21. Broncos up by 1, looking to add to it. Counterplay left is Cottrell looking for room. Not a lot there. He gets to the 20 before it closes down pretty quickly. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And the thing that is great about this drive is you're starting to see Emporia State's defense look a little bit tired. Like they're catching a little bit out there. They're on their heels a little bit. That's certainly not something we saw last week in St. Joe. But this Bronco, they're not killing them with the pass right here. They're killing them with the run. And they're just pounding this Emporia State defense, and that's not something that we've seen a lot of out of UCO.
I'll tell you the other thing that's great about this drive. We're at 5.5 minutes of play and ticking. It's going to be 4 minutes on this drive by the time the Broncos snap this one. They took over with about 9 minutes and 20 seconds to play. Cottrell in motion. Brown, quarterback run, left side, cuts at the 15, at the 10, at the 5. Stephon Brown is in for a UCO touchdown. A quarterback counter, and Stephon Brown runs it in. And the Broncos on the 20-yard touchdown run lead 20-13, and Nicky Cavedo can make this an 8-point game.
I was just thinking,
is that a flag in the back of the end zone?
It looks
like
it is, yes, but that'll be.
See if that's on the extra point.
Well, they can put it on the kickoff if it's against UCO, and it may be an excessive celebration.
It is.
They definitely, so they're asking the Emporia State sideline what they want to do about this.
Now down 7, you might take it on the extra point, John.
I mean, but although you saw Cavedo unfazed on 3 kicks in a row on his first attempt.
The play is a touchdown. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 2, Central Oklahoma. That 15-yard penalty is enforced on the kickoff. That's the first unsportsmanlike on number 2.
I don't know what was said or what happened, and I'm not trying to take up for Stephon Brown, but he got tackled 9 yards into the end zone as well.
Yeah, well,
I think that's why he was upset, honestly.
Maybe so, but it's
you still can't do it.
It's an act like you've been there before kind of thing, and teams.
Queveto's extra point is up and good.
Teams have to be disciplined, and you have to be in these situations. Championship teams don't get those kind of penalties.
So the Broncos will be kicking off from their own 20-yard line, but the good news is they're up by 8, 5:15 to play. UCO 21, Emporia State 13. You're listening to UCO Bronco football on Classic Rock 104.5. Nicky Queveto's extra point makes it 21-13 UCO with 5:15 to play, but after a celebration penalty, the Broncos will kick from their own 20, and Emporia will have a returnable kick as Swinehart takes it at the 10, up to the 20, to the 25, 30, out to the 36-yard line. And that's where Emporia will have it 1st and 10, and there is a flag on the play, and that could be huge. That almost kind of erases the celebration penalty.
Yeah, exactly, and typically those flags are not on the kicking team when they're thrown in that area unless it's some sort of personal foul behind the play. So we'll let the officials sort it out, and momentarily we will hear what it is. Well, we thought we were going to, but now they're talking about it again. Here we go.
6. There were fouls by both teams. Illegal free kick formation. Number 0 went behind the 5-yard line. Holding, number 87, receiving team. The penalties will offset. Re-kick.
Okay, so that penalty on the Broncos is Robert Fuentes, and basically you're not allowed a long run-up on the kickoff anymore, and he was too far back when they started the play. And that's I mean, honestly, it's an unforgivable penalty, right? I mean, it's a formation penalty.
Yeah, I mean, you should know what your responsibility is and where you're supposed to start there, and that this isn't the Canadian Football League. You know, you can't get the run. They do that on offense, right?
Right. So if he doesn't pick up that penalty, we're looking at Emporia starting at the 26-yard line after their penalty.
Which would have been just basically like a touchback.
Right. So
now,
that's a huge penalty, or could be a huge penalty.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those. This is I'll take what's behind door number 2. I mean, it's just a gamble here. What's going to happen, and it's not anything anyone chose. I mean, this is the rule. They have to re-kick it, but it could result in a better situation for the Broncos. Could result worse.
So Quevedo will put it on the tee again at the 20-yard line. 5:09 to play because 6 seconds did run off the clock. I wish 6 minutes would have ran off the clock on that last kickoff. Quevedo will boot it away. It's another good kick as Swinehart's going to take it, going backwards at the 9. Swinehart to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 32-yard line. So he didn't quite get there to where he got last time, which was the 36. So all in all, the Broncos lose 6 yards on that offsetting penalties from where Emporia State would have been. They'll take over at the 32. 1st and 10 for the Hornets. UCO leading 21-13 with 5:03 to play.
I want to say hi to Andy Bouts, who emailed us from Dallas, says nice call tonight. Doesn't indicate who he's rooting for, but since he said nice call, I'm going to say he's a Bronco fan. And although we've got some nice compliments from Emporia fans tonight, too. So we appreciate all of that. UCOradio@gmail.com. Give us a shout.
1st and 10, Gleason throwing left side, complete to Varner out in the flat at the 35-40, cuts up field to the 45-yard line. That's going to be 13 yards and a 1st down on the grab by Jalen Varner. Going quickly is Emporia. Ross Jr. in motion out of the backfield. Gleason, empty backfield, 3-man rush. Looks, steps up, pressured, running in circles in the backfield. Now to his left, now throws downfield, and is it caught? It's out of bounds. The official was right there and said he was out of bounds. And the Broncos avoid what would have been about a 17, 18-yard gain, and I think we might have our first cramp of the night.
For an injured defensive player.
Well, and this gives Emporia State time, and maybe they don't. Maybe they're walking away. They're not talking about it. I was going to say, might give them time to see if they want to challenge that play, whether he was inbounds. It looked like he had one leg sliding on the green part of the turf, but he might have had another leg out of bounds.
I will say the head linesman over there was right on top of it, so I think he had a pretty good view of it.
Yeah.
And this is one of those, I would guess for Emporia, the risk-reward is probably not losing a timeout over this late in the game as well.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're not 100% sure. For those that don't know, the MIAA does have instant replay this year, the only D2 conference to have it. Now, obviously, we're not talking about, an ESPN or Fox type of production where there are 17, 18 different camera angles. So something needs to be pretty obvious for you to challenge it. Coaches do have challenge flags, and they do lose a timeout for an unsuccessful challenge. We did have a challenge last week up at Mo West, and it went quickly. It was handled pretty well, I thought. So far, I would say it's been a success, at least from what we'd seen from it.
Yeah, and I think it's great. I mean, they're not going to challenge something most likely and then get it wrong still. You know what I mean? Unless it's just something that is bang, bang and really hard to tell because of the camera angle. But in previous years, you haven't even had that option, and there have been calls that would have been overturned. And so I don't hate it. It's just it's not great for our listeners because Todd and I have to fill more time just with our
Right.
stories and whatnot. But like you said, last week was handled pretty quick. And, they got out there, confirmed that the call was correct, and moved on with play.
Michael Slater was the injured player for the Broncos, and he's getting stretched out. He's just cramping up there as it's going to be 2nd and 10 from their own 45 for Emporia. Gleason claps his hands. Now does it again and takes the shotgun snap. Straight drop. Broncos blitz, throw over the middle to Ross out of the backfield. He catches it, but a great open field tackle at the midfield stripe. Trayvon Craig comes up to make the play. Raekwon Wicks comes up to make the play. It's a gain of 6, 3rd down and 4. Gleason, empty backfield, throws quick, right side, complete, first down inside the Bronco 45 to the 43-yard line to Tyler Common. It's going to be 1st and 10 Emporia. Broncos got to be careful not to give too much here. Still a lot of time left, 4 minutes and 9 seconds to go. Gleason, straight drop, looking, pressured, throws, left side, complete. Inside the 30 and down to the 28. Robert Fuentes was getting tackled on the rush from the outside. No call. It's a big gainer, first down.
He got belly to back suplexed and he was getting double teamed, giving those guys trouble, but it is what it is.
19 yards, 1st and 10 at the 27.
Oh. Now that's the offensive lineman started
Offensive
moving
lineman
backwards.
moved before, yeah.
Now we might have gotten the neutral zone there, but before we got there, that right guard was falling backwards and taking steps backwards. So interested to see how this call shakes out. Emporia State's
Adam Dorrell's pointing the direction of Emporia. He thinks it's on them, and I think they're
Snap, false start, number 68, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, that's the right
well
call.
spotted.
I want to say hi to Marie Coates. She says, I'm the proud mother and #1 fan of number 13, Julius Coates. I'm bummed I can't be at the game in person, but thankful I'm still able to watch from Illinois. So we are coloring up the map tonight, Todd, and we just love it. We're glad to hear from everybody, and we're glad to be able to bring you the action. UCOradio@gmail.com.
Spent some time in Illinois recently on my way up to Green Bay. As Gleason looking to throw on 1st and 15. Has time, looks, floats one left, complete to the 25-yard line and out of bounds. That's Common on the grab. He actually caught that ball at about the UCO 23, but he was running back towards the formation, so his forward progress actually went to the 26. So he gave up 3 yards in catching it. It's a gain of 6 on 1st and 15, and it'll set up a 2nd and 9. From the Bronco 26-yard line. Gleason dropping, pressured, steps up. Fuentes chasing after him. He's not going to get there. Gleason's going to run away from him and get out of bounds after a short gain. But Robert Fuentes forced Gleason to do something with that one other than throw it downfield. 2 yards on the run. It'll be 3rd and 7. Got another UCO player cramping up.
Officials timeout for an injured defensive player.
Oh, I didn't see him over there on the
Yeah, down on the
sideline.
Emporia.
Yeah.
And is holding on in the 4th quarter, 40-32 in Warrensburg over Central Missouri. Big 3rd down. From the 24-yard line, Gleason looks, throws left side. Varner, first down inside the 15 to the 10. A gain of 14 on a 3rd down and 7. And it's now 1st and goal for Emporia.
Wasn't that long ago that if you said Pitt State upset Nebraska Kearney,
Right,
people would have thought
right.
that you were not right.
And Nebraska Kearney, I think, was at 11 or 12 in the rankings this week. Big loss for them on their home field. 1st and goal at the 10. Crowd getting into this one as Gleason works out of the shotgun. Ross to his right. Gleason looks, throws left side. It's incomplete. Had Varner, who had a step, but just a little too tall for him, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
Oh, I picked on the Emporia player earlier for getting trucked and then getting up and talking trash. I also like it when DBs stand up and give the incomplete sign after a massive overthrow.
When it wasn't great coverage. It's second down and goal from the 10. Couple of Broncos off on the defensive line as they shuffle in some new bodies. Second and goal for Emporia, working from the left hash. 3 receivers on that side of the field, 1 receiver on the right side. That's Schumacher out by himself, split wide right. Gleason looking, throwing over the middle. The pass is tipped away and incomplete. Tried to hit Schumacher on the slant route. I thought for a minute it might get picked. It made it through the first wave of Bronco defenders, but it's knocked down in the end zone, and it's third and goal.
This UCO sideline getting hyped up in support of the defense. This Bronco home crowd getting on their feet. The big Emporia crowd, they're into it as well, supporting their offense. This is a great atmosphere here in Edmond, and just a great ball game coming down to the end.
2:40 to go. Third down and goal for Emporia at the Bronco 10. Gleason sends Ross in motion out of the backfield. Gleason drops, looking, throwing over the middle, complete, but only to the 5-yard line. It's Tyler Common on the grab, and it's going to be fourth and goal just outside the 5 for Emporia. And the ball game is going to come down to this play, essentially.
As Emporia is going to take a timeout.
And they will take a timeout. We'll keep it right here before this big play. And, John, that's an important timeout because if Emporia turns it over on downs, that's 45 seconds the Broncos can run off the clock, essentially.
Yeah, because Emporia had all 3 timeouts before that. But also, this is a pretty big play for the Hornets.
No doubt. I totally understand
Yeah,
it.
I mean, they need to talk it over and figure out what they're going to do here because they have to put the ball in the end zone or, this ball game might be over. Now, UCO is going to have to, if they do get the ball back, they're going to have to advance the ball or they risk having to, punt again or, take the dreaded safety on purpose or something to end the ball game. But this listen, I think if you're a Bronco fan, you couldn't have hoped for better, really, than what we're experiencing here right now, which is the lead with, 2.5 minutes to play and not just a 7-point lead, but an 8-point lead. Emporia not only has to score a touchdown, but they then have to convert the 2-point conversion.
By the way, it's worth noting, the Broncos, I hope I don't jinx them here, but they are 4 for 4 on fourth downs defensively against Emporia tonight. The 5th one is the biggest one, though. 4th and goal from the UCO 5. 2:25 to play. UCO leads by 8, 21-13. Emporia cannot get a first down. They need to get this ball into the end zone or they will turn it over. Gleason has 4 receivers, 2 each side. Shotgun snap, drops, now rolls right. Looking, throwing back middle of the field. It's overthrown and incomplete. The Broncos get another 4th down stop and they'll take over on downs at their own 5-yard line. And they are 1 or 2 first downs away from getting their first win of the season here in 2022.
Outstanding defense tonight by the Broncos on 4th down. 5 stops on 4th down for you. You don't often see teams go for it 5 times a game on 4th down. Emporia State not only did it, the Broncos stopped them every single time. Just outstanding job by that defense. But this ballgame is not over.
Not at all.
2 minutes and 18 seconds left. UCO has to not only move the ball, at least move the chains, but they have to execute the handoffs and the snaps and all those things that can happen down in the shadows of your own goalpost. And so the Broncos, they'll be very conservative here, but they've got to be very efficient in protecting the ball.
There's one thing UCO has done well offensively this year. They haven't really turned it over. They had the tip interception early in this one as Brown on a quarterback run. Going right to the 5, out to the 7, maybe the 8-yard line, gain of about 1. And Emporia will burn their second timeout with 2:12 to play. I'll tell you what, we'll take this one with them. We'll come back for the conclusion of this one. As with 2:12 left, it's UCO 21, Emporia 13. You're listening to UCO Bronco Football on Classic Rock 104.5. There are 132 seconds left to play in this one. 2 minutes and 12 seconds total. The Broncos have it 2nd and 9 at their own 7, leading 21-13. Emporia's got 1 timeout left. Handoff to Smith right up the middle at the 15, all the way out to the 17-yard line. Good run. To the 12-yard line, not to the 17. The 17 would have been a great run. It would have been a first down. He gets from the 7 out to the 12, so he's going to be about 3.5 yards short of the first down, and Emporia will use their 3rd and final timeout. And it's on this play, John, first down and the ball game's over.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I got to go back to that last play with Smith. He took a good hard hit when he got through the line of scrimmage, and it was right in this game. You've got to protect here in the last 2 minutes. And, you know, this is a pride thing for the O-line right here. Pick this first down up, and let's get the W. Let's sing that song and take it to the house, right?
I formation for the Broncos. Brown under center on 3rd and 4 from the 12. If they get to the 16, this ball game's over. Brown takes the snap, hands off on the counter to Smith. Right at the middle at the 15, moving the pile across the 16 to the 17-yard line. And the Broncos are going to win. UCO can take a knee now and get out of here with the victory. Send on the victory formation for UCO.
And while they're doing that, I want to get the shout-out into Brandon Jacks, who hit us up on Twitter. Todd's at Todd on Franchise. I'm at UCO Radio. And Brandon Jacks, a longtime UCO fan and a friend of ours, and we're glad he gave us a shout.
Stephon Brown will take a knee on first down. He'll have to do it 2 more times, and we will enjoy every second of it here. Now, just looking at the clock here, Brown might want to dance around for 4 or 5 seconds before he takes a knee this second time, just to make sure. I guess push come to shove, you could always take a safety on the last play if you had to run out some clock. Brown under center. Play clock is at 3, 2, 1. He takes the snap again. Takes a knee.
But Emporia State
was going to do it, yeah. That's going to do it.
There's no timeouts left, so we take one more knee and the ball game's over. Yeah, this will do it.
Yeah, that's right, because the clock ran after the first down. Forgot about that as well, yeah. So the Broncos are going to improve to 1-1 on the season. They trailed this one early. Emporia jumped out to the quick 7-0 lead, but the UCO defense kept them in the game all night with 4th down stop after 4th down stop. And as Stephon Brown puts his knee to the turf, the first win of the Adam Dorrell era, the first win in Chad Richardson Stadium, the first win of 2022 for the UCO Broncos as they defeat Emporia State 21-13 tonight here from Edmond. What an incredible turnaround from what the momentum felt like early in this game, John.
Yeah, absolutely. And even like, I never thought it got way out of hand with the momentum, right? I thought the Broncos kind of went punch for punch, at least defensively, with Emporia State, and then they were able to tie it up after Emporia got that first touchdown. Where it did go a little bit south was, I think, in the third quarter, where it just felt like UCO was not moving the ball. Emporia wasn't necessarily scoring a bunch, right? They got the one breakaway touchdown, but it felt like they had control of the game.